But I did want to go over this story that started this past week. So another YouTuber. Now I think you guys are gonna like this, right? Because this particular YouTuber that is involved in this drama, guess who one of her best friends is? It involves scammer payback. I'm giving too many hints though. It's not Hina either. No. Hassan. I mean, she wants to be best friends with Hassan, that's for sure. You can definitely tell that through the stuff that's going on here. All right, we're talking about Savannah. Savannah is really, really good friends with Cruel World Happy Mind, and I thought Madison was smarter than Savannah, but it looks like they both ended up doing the same thing. Now, the only difference is Savannah did this to Pierogi and Scammer Payback, but Madison did this to H3H3 Ethan Klein, which is a big mistake, because while Pierogi is very like kind and kind of like kept to himself during that whole thing, Ethan Klein not so much. Ethan Klein not so much. He's coming in with some friggin' fire on this girl. And when you guys see this video and see what the hell happened with this, it's perhaps one of the worst videos I think that have ever been done on H3H3. Now, I'm no professional when it comes to Ethan Klein, but I do know that she gets so much freaking stuff wrong during her video. Now, she did a 3-hour piece on this dude. It's insane. 3 hours of coverage on Ethan Klein. He wrote, literally the title of this channel, or the title of this video is just called Help. And it's because she just does the craziest stuff. So I'm just gonna play a little clip of like some of the stuff that Ethan responds to her with, because it's really, really bad. And you'll get like where like her and Savannah run in the same circles. Like they are really good friends. In fact, I'm pretty sure Madison was on Savannah's channel before. Am I the only one here who did not like Cruel World? I liked her. I think I just liked her though because she was hot. Let's be realistic though. I wasn't watching her for her hard-hitting journalism. I was just like, man, she is pretty. She used to be a former model and shit. So, but this is a really bad look, and you could tell when we go through this that she is gonna have like, it's not good for her. This is almost worse than what happened to Savannah. Okay, I'm gonna be honest, because it's on a much larger level, where it's like if Pierogi had dressed Savannah like one-on-one, that's how bad the blowback would have been. But like she gets caught lying so much. But really, if you're gonna back a horse, back H3. Like if you're a liberal and you want to back someone who has common sense, back Ethan Klein, because this guy at least is like, you know, he's a cerebral assassin, at least in this particular instance. Let's take a look at some of these clips here though, that we got going on here from the H3H3 podcast, of her reacting to some of we're not going to watch the whole Madison thing because it's 3 hours long. So instead what we're going to do is we're going to focus on her apology, and then we're going to focus on the debate that they have between the two of them, because that's really where the juice is. I'm not here for 3 hours responding to everything that Madison said about him, because we could just go through this and he'll bring up and tell us what's lies and what's not. And he catches her in several lies. In fact, you almost wonder how she got as popular as she did with as bad as the research was. It's almost like I want to go back and go through some of Madison's older videos and see how much lying she's actually been doing, because there's no way that anybody was this freaking bad at researching, because she's like quoting Reddit posts from like saying they're from H3 and they're running from the same subreddit and stuff. I think the only reason I know about her is because Xylee talked about her before. I don't remember. Sure though, it's been a long time Xylee come back. Xylee's doing her lolcow thing now. She don't need her channel. She does do lives though sometimes on there. But yes, Savannah was somebody that Xylee got into it with, because you know, I was the first one to break that story. Shout out your boy, right? But yeah, let's take a look. I should probably put the sound on so that you guys can actually hear what the hell's going on over here. But yes, I did break that Savannah story on Pierogi, so Just saying. Just saying. That was my big moment. That was my big breakout moment.
We didn't even split the cost, right? I built the set, which was a really professional set.
Okay, I want to
But
go.
also, it's just
About Teddy.
Let's go back to the beginning.
That was like 10 years ago. And she's using the edited footage.
no.
No, like, I swear to God, this is just negligent defamation.
No, I can't
It
do
is.
that.
It's so fucking gross. Anyway, here she implies something weird about Teddy Fresh design. Let's get into it.
First son. Teddy is the nickname they have.
Oh, I need a little audio
Following
here.
The launch of Teddy Fresh's first collection in October of 2017, the brand almost immediately saw massive success.
Thank
Much
you.
of its apparel would sell out shortly after dropping, and the line reflects Ila's own personal style. While in the past I would certainly commend Ila for having a very creative style, often some of the outfit ensembles that Ila chooses feels very childlike, with also
It's
Teddy
always
Fresh
been-
having a
First of all, it's always... What is that? Okay, hold on. Is she go... Okay, let's play it.
little teddy bear as
So you can see like the pictures that she's posting is basically her trying to make fun of Gila by saying that what Gila's wearing looks like, you know, a fire blanket.
the logo. I don't know. Maybe
the
it's
fuck is
also
this?
Teddy.
You didn't even make this, did you?
No, Xylee talked about Cruel World before. Yeah, she went from being like a pretty solid journalist and researcher to someone who you could tell clearly was just trying to push an agenda, and that's when I stopped watching her. But I used to watch her a lot back in the day. Kevin Z says Madison, Cruel World, Happy Mind got bullied by Illuminati and bad research only to become the bad research. Yo, you are so right, Kevin. I totally forgot about that. Yeah. So Cruel World, Happy Mind rose to prominence after excuse me, Illuminati bullied the crap out of her, and like, because they all came up in the anti-MLM communities, right? Shout out Sweet Goth, she would know about this story. That's how I ran into all these people, because when I was covering Savannah, I met a whole bunch of anti-MLM people, but that's how she came up. And then somewhere along the lines, they stopped covering anti-MLM, and then they switched to covering drama. And I guess they think since they're good at researching anti-MLM, that they're going to be able to do drama. Now, Madison got away with this for a very, very long time until one of the creators that she covered actually paid attention to her. And now you're going to see, and she's got a whole team behind her. So either the team that's behind Madison is just feeding her completely bad information, or Madison knew it was bad information and just wanted those clicks. So, which we've seen Savannah do, right? We've seen Savannah do it with Pierogi. So we know that this is definitely something that these girls tend to do. They don't shy really away from it. I found you because Savannah Marie's vid came into my list and she pissed me off. Then your video was up next. You're very welcome, Rajira. That's right. That's right. You old school. That was like my first breakout hit, other than my one reaction to a Jubilee episode, which was, you know, probably my first hit. It went like 30,000 views or something, but the people still watch this, my response to Savannah's video, because Savannah took that video down. Rightfully so, though. She should have.
Oh, this one I did, but
Oh, you did. They're like, look at this guy wrapped in a tinfoil
But you're going to
blanket,
see so many
dude. This
similarities
shit's crazy.
between
Fresh
that
having
situation
a
and
little
this
teddy
situation.
bear as a logo. I don't know. Maybe it's interesting.
maybe.
What? I agree, Phallic. I agree that at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what information Madison's team presents her. It is up to Madison to make sure that what she's saying is fact checked. You know, because how does she know that these researchers aren't like huge Hassan fans? Although I think personally, Madison might be a Hassan fan too.
It's interesting. Well, make up your mind.
She brings that up again at the end.
You
like
choose to put it in a
implying-
video. At least have an opinion.
No, she hasn't. She going, they might be she might be a pedophile.
She may be dressed like a kid, but I don't know.
And also Teddy Bear, she might be a pedophile, guys.
Wow.
What a fucking psychopath. And then
What,
just
what
to
do you
protect-
call this?
to
Is that
pres-
lazy or it's beyond? It's beyond lazy.
It's reckless negligence.
Yeah.
A disregard for the truth. It's a reckless disregard for the truth.
Now, keep in mind, they've already watched like a little while of this, but it gets worse. Like, it only gets worse and worse and worse. Now, I didn't even get to the part where they react to her response yet, but I'm just kind of setting this up so you guys see where we're at. The debate between H3 and Cruel World is so bad for her. Yeah, if anything, this has completely destroyed all of her credibility. There's no way that anybody can go back and watch Cruel World and Happy Mind now and not second guess every single thing that she said, because it's just so disingenuous, and you can clearly see that she's pushing propaganda for Hassan.
Also, like, sorry, I have my own style. I'm not like that. How is that included in a
right,
takedown
Kevin.
video?
We will
or
get to
whatever
the
this
apology
is?
video.
Maybe it's important. Maybe it's interesting.
I don't know.
Fucking excellent commentary. Jesus Christ.
Here, you guys got what you wanted. Now I just wear black because I'm so depressed because of you people.
You're in
Here.
your black era.
This is all the way at the end of the video, but she like ends the video with a little note about that too.
Oh, good. Let's pull it all together.
Wait,
That being said,
I'm
Ethan
sorry. She's
accuses
coming
a lot
for
of
my looks, and like she's the one that was wearing that headband
Bro, she's...
in the next video.
She does. Madison actually has become incredibly like vicious as time has gone on. She was very sweet in the beginning when I first used to watch her. She was a very sweet girl, and she would kind of question things like, "I don't understand. I don't think it's really great." To all of a sudden, it's like, "Can you believe what she's wearing?" Like, because she knows that it gets clicked. She's not stupid. She's not a stupid girl. But when she comes on live and they debate her, which we're gonna get to, I just want to show you guys some of the examples. It's really bad.
Next, yeah, and I'm not here to criticize anyone's
I'm not either, but
fashion
like
and stuff.
As a parent,
But like, if you're gonna get on camera like this,
Israel is 100%
like I don't know. This look is not. I don't know.
ooh,
She looks like she's about to do, "Let's get physical, physical. We're gonna get physical. Let's get in the physical. Let me see your body rock." You know what I mean?
kind of,
This look is interesting. I don't know.
And she also got like really sexual too, because I remember I've seen some of her videos where like her sponsors like a sex toy, and she'll be like, "And this toy does so much for my clit," and I'm like, "Holy shit, dude!" Like, I was just watching, I could have swore I was just watching a documentary on a drama that's happening, and now you're talking about what you shove up your. Okay, girl, get your money.
she's kind of dressed like,
I don't know.
Well, you just heard it, Phallic.
I don't know what the fuck that is.
Yeah.
Honestly. Like Temu.
Yeah, she does. 80s
The
The girl
style.
who knows all the
I
strengths
think, by the way, I do think that Madison has a great style. I do think Madison has a killer style. I just think that she got too wrapped up in this Hassan stuff.
of weed at the weed shop.
True.
Breaks it down
Fucking
for my
weed
dumb ass.
stoner. Oh, kind of. Maybe that's interesting. I don't know.
It is.
So here she
Is
brings.
it not ironic too? Somebody in chat pointed this out. If you go back to the shot of her when she's saying this,
Oh, in the first video.
yeah, like when she said, "I don't know,"
I'm only going to show a little
Just
bit
take a
of this,
look
and we're
at
going to
her
get to
set.
the and we're going to get to the.
and I'm not saying there's anything
debate.
wrong with it,
because they
it's
lay all this
fine.
out in the debate.
But
and you can hear how
genuinely,
bad
there's
her
nothing wrong
responses
with
are to
this.
this.
But it's
This is exactly what I wanted to do to Savannah when she put out the pierogi video, but Savannah was like, "I'm not going and talking to that man."
like while making that criticism, you are literally surrounded by children's toys.
first son. Teddy is the nickname they have for each
Yeah,
other.
go back.
Following the launch of Teddy Fresh's first collection in October of 2017,
Here, I'll just
the
say
brand
go forward.
almost immediately
It's about to
saw
go.
massive success. Much of its apparel would sell out
I'm skipping ahead because they spend way too long trying to get to the point they actually want to
shortly
get
after
to.
dropping, and the line
Dude, this girl. I don't listen. She has some.
You've got the
Blush.
squishmallows in.
So she made fun of Gila Klein for dressing like she was like a child, but then you look behind her, right? Stuffy toys, Game Boy stuff, you know, and then a couple of movie posters. This could not have gone worse for Madison. And 3 hours, dude. 3 hours of nothing but complete lies. Okay, so I'll tee that up, right? Let's go. I want to jump right ahead to the debate because the debate is, well, let's just say it's not great. And if anything, Madison should have practiced live streaming a lot before she ended up going live here.
Yeah,
So we're going to just jump right to the beginning of this. I'm going to put it up probably to 1.25 because it does drag a little bit.
Talk through it, right? And I can express myself. You can express yourself, and we'll see if there's any understandings brought. I'm going to try my best to be respectful, and I want to have a productive conversation, right? So that's my goal here.
Which he did not have. He was crushing her in his initial reaction to this. He was like, "Oh, I cannot believe this stupid bee." But he was like, I'm not supposed to be calling women bees anymore. But this is really hard to do.
And
yeah, totally.
and let's see how that one goes.
Does having a plushie equal being a child? I have a couple bird plush. I don't think that having a plushie alone means it, but when you're making fun of someone else for looking childlike and your whole like background is nothing but stuffed animals, you can understand why people would be like, okay, pick a side here.
Yeah, honestly, we could probably just turn off chat because I don't want anyone being rude or.
I thought
Just
that was
turn off
nice
chat,
of
man.
him.
Roger.
Turning off chat.
Yeah, and I really appreciate just having this opportunity to chat, because I think that I don't know, I think a lot of people don't really get the opportunity to have this sort of conversation, or there's just a lot of division. So
Those bangs are a dead giveaway that she's like hardcore leftist. And the glasses, like she's just slowly adopted the feminist persona.
I don't know, I think that being able to sit down and talk like this is good. And I also think that, sorry, also I have a little bit of an echo. I kind of have to figure out how to.
Oh.
She doesn't have an echo on the stream. She has an echo in her ears because the same thing that I mentioned before, right? Professional streamer guys, obviously I know this stuff, but she has the monitor playing in her ear and she didn't know how to fix the rendering so that it would play at the same time that she's speaking. So she hasn't been able to fix that yet. So when she's talking, now this could have affected the way that she speaks, but all she had to do was just pop off. Like if you guys ever see me pop my headphone back, that's because I want to hear myself because I have something in my ear playing and it's messing up my cadence of how I speak. So, but you could tell that she is very dependent on pre-planned takes. And if you've ever seen her videos, you know she does not live stream. If anything, I think she's live streamed maybe one time before this, but she typically, you know, does takes with her videos and has a script that she works off of. She doesn't speak from the heart, and this is going to be evident from the way that she talks to Ethan here.
Yeah, sorry, it's something that we weren't really able
No,
to
you don't
figure
have to get
out
rid of your
while
plushies.
walking
Sorry, that's
through.
gonna be
Sorry.
annoying.
Yeah, so if I'm a little bit like glitchy or something, but yeah, I think that being able to chat, I think that a lot of content creators get really defensive, and a lot of the reason why I make this content in the first place is just to essentially, I don't know, critique the ways in which content creation can go too far, and I'm not beyond that criticism as well. You know, I think that it's really fair to critique the ways that I make content, and for me to sort of learn and grow from that as well. So.
Well, I want to believe her, and I do believe that when she started out, she was like anti-MLM. Oh my God, I can get more views if I start talking about content creators who are doing bad stuff online. I think that she was like, I can make way more money talking about drama than I can talking about anti-MLM, and that's what she ended up doing. But and if you go back and watch her normal, like her earlier videos, that's exactly what she was doing. She was like pointing out bad behavior online, and she was very good at it. However, the minute she started getting wrapped up in identity politics, that's when her channel went boop. When she made fun of people for being Christians or like made them feel bad because they're Christians, that's immediately when I stopped watching Madison.
Yeah, I want to have a conversation and be open to learning as well, being open to listen, and yeah, vice versa, you know?
I appreciate that. And listen, there's going to be points of contention, right? Obviously. Let's start. There's a few examples before we jump into the I'm helping video from your original one that I wanted to ask you about. So I'll pull up. I'll just start by pulling up a couple of choice examples.
So this is where it's going to start getting
I'll
really
show you this
bad.
clip and then I'll ask you about it.
It's going to be a lot of
This is a clip of
deflecting.
well, I'll play it and then. Yeah.
Hila, on the other hand, has made comments deemed even more insensitive, like calling toddlers terrorists.
Rudy was saying that Palestinians are taught at 2 years old to kill Americans.
And the Palestinians are taught to kill us at 2 years old.
That's pretty spicy.
Yeah.
Do we have that
I
one?
mean,
that
I
one?
mean,
What do you mean? I mean,
So you said she called terrorist. She said called babies terrorists. I didn't see that.
Okay, yeah, I think that's fair.
Not a good start. The very first point that Ethan Klein makes, she's like, yeah, I mean, that's fair, which is exactly the same thing that Hila did. Now, if she was confident, she would say, well, judging by the way that she responded to Rudy Giuliani's commentary, it would suggest that that's what she was implying, was that that's the way that she felt. She might not have come out and said it explicitly, but that's what it appeared to me. She was implying that Rudy Giuliani was right, but that's not what she's like, oh, well, she didn't say that. Now, the fact that she did say that that's exactly what Hila said, and then she used some random girl's TikTok to back it up, That's terrible. That's terrible journalism. You cannot go off of that as a realistic expectation for, an accurate depiction of what she said. I mean, she was implying like, well, I mean, it's not right. Again, because it's Rudy Giuliani, all of a sudden now they're like trying to paint Gila as like some MAGA person, which obviously you guys know is just not true.
I guess I would like to know what the insinuation was. I think that's what a lot of people were wondering by the sort of.
Well, so let's just. There is an explanation, and people in our subreddit and our community have explained it. Because it's edited in this really tight way. Like, I get the feeling you didn't get that directly from the podcast. You probably got that from a different source, maybe this TikTok or a different subreddit. She was responding to somebody else, right? There was a question asked that she was considering. But even if that wasn't true, to accuse someone of calling babies terrorists is a extraordinarily mean-spirited. It's an extraordinarily loaded thing to say, right? Do you think there's enough evidence to?
Oh yeah, Phallic. They are not held to the standards journalists are held. I can go on and say whatever I want about anybody, and as long as I try to claim it as it's like some type of, what's the word I'm looking for here? Why can I not? It's some S word. I cannot think of it for some reason. It's like where I'm trying to make it seem like it's real, but it's not really real. When I first saw Cruel World, I thought she gave mean girl vibes. Yeah. Well, she was she was under and friends with Illuminati until Illuminati sold her out. So Illuminati's probably one of the biggest meanies on YouTube history.
To make such a incendiary claim there, even if she wasn't responding to someone else, let's assume the worst, and she was like considering what Rudy Giuliani said. Do you think, she's just doing like this? Do you think that she called babies terrorists?
I mean, I think that if she was agreeing with Rudy Giuliani's statement, then that would be insinuating that toddlers are.
No, not salacious. It's the same thing that that dude, Def Noodles, said his channel was, and it's the same thing that.
Well, would you look at that? Someone's guilty of being total
Daniel's
badass.
Crew, let's go.
At the Daniel's Crew super chatted $2. Late but here for the party. What did I miss?
Alright, we're getting into Cruel World, Happy Mind versus H3H3, and this is very similar to the Savannah versus Pierogi situation that happened when I first started doing content. So that's why we're really into it. I'm very excited about this drama. Satire, thank you, Blue Jay. That's exactly what I was going with. I could sit here and say whatever I want about another creator, and if I claim that it's satire, then I get myself off the hook because I'm not held to the same journalistic standards as like the New York Times, right? I could just say, well, my channel's satire. Of course I'm not going to say the truth. I'm just going to make up whatever I want. But if you don't explicitly claim that you're satire, then you can just say whatever you want and then hope that, be like, when you get in trouble for it, you just point out, hey, I was satire this whole time, guys. I don't know what you're talking about.
Terrorists, but I think that if that was not her,
and has made comments deemed even more insensitive, like calling toddlers.
Also, sorry, is it okay if I interject here? When I say deemed, so she's made comments that were deemed. So that's not me saying that she's saying that. It's others have deemed it even more insensitive, like calling toddlers terrorists. So I'm not saying that I myself am saying that she's called toddlers terrorists. I'm saying others have deemed so.
Do you think that's really a fair way?
That is so bullshit, dude. So as long as one of you guys at any point can say something about anybody else, then I could say, and people in my chat have deemed this guy as a straight up rapist because they said they think that he is. So others deemed him as like a complete pedo because of his because that's what they think. And they deemed him that. So obviously I'm using that to push my narrative harder. Completely an unfair way, especially if you're somebody who wants to be taken seriously. You cannot say, like, you can't go on X and use like the craziest stuff you see people post as a reason to use that as like freaking evidence to back up your case.
Though to like
no,
to
exactly.
recount
I think that
stuff, you know what I mean? Because it's clearly that's what you want people to feel from that clip.
I do think, I don't know if it's what I want people to feel or think, but I do think, as I've said in our DMs and everything, the way that I usually do content creation is if I'm going into a subject that I'm not very versed on, very familiar with, or I'm covering essentially a content creator, the way the internet perceives them. You know, I'm covering kind of the online interpretation of this content creator. So I'll go
Interpretation
into,
by who, though?
Yeah, exactly. Many different people, you know.
An interpretation by who? Many different people. Is that fair though? Because now you're just taking, you're basically, what she's saying is, I'm taking everything from the H3 Snark Reddit and using that as my example for what, you know, I'm telling the rest of the internet that H3 is like, because of what these Reddits are saying about him. That's my case, and that's what I'm sticking to. It's like such a weak argument to make. And she's, you could tell she's just folding under the pressure, and we're not even 5 minutes into this, and it only gets worse.
But
Not really
as you can see in the script, you know, I've sourced the H3, you know, your subreddit as well. But like I definitely concede. I think that
did you ever source our subreddit when? Well, I feel like there was really no attempts, or very few attempts to represent my response or explanation for things. It really, I felt like, was entirely a one-sided account of things. And I mean, you claim that it's unbiased, but I also find that to be like.
Oh, I agree with that as well. But yeah.
So she's just admitted it right there. Why do we even need to go any further? She just admitted it right there that she has done a very biased version of how she's presented all this information. Yet this whole time, she said that she's very unbiased and that she tries to approach things from a big picture point of view. If she approached things from a big picture point of view, she would say, this is what he's being accused of, this is what he responded with, and then use that, right? But that's not what she did. She would use all the stuff that he was being accused of and never used anything from his perspective or responses from his perspectives, which obviously is why Ethan feels like, you know, she's did him dirty with this.
Yeah,
really
so
dishonest way of framing it.
So as far as going into future content creation, when I come across, so essentially there's a few different things that I'll do. So finding essentially deleted videos or clips online, there's a few different ways you can find clips. You know, if I find a clip and it seems like it's kind of cut oddly, I should look at multiple sources for clips. I 100% agree with that. So it's like, okay, go directly from the source, you know.
Okay, then why didn't you do that then, Madison? It's easy to sit here and say, yeah, I should have done this and I should have done this. But if you know that this is what you should have done, then why didn't you do that in the first place? Well, the answer is simple. The reason that she didn't do that in the first place is because she wanted to make Ethan look like the biggest jerk he could, because she's trying to capture some of Hassan Piker's audience. Why don't she just be honest? She would get way more respect probably from everybody if she just came out and was like, listen, I'm not really a big fan of you. I didn't really like you. So, you know, I kind of want to, you know, kind of dip into a little bit of what Hassan's doing for himself. And that's kind of where I believe personally. So that's what I did. And I'm sorry if it upset you, but that's not what she's doing. She's immediately conceding. She's immediately saying, I was wrong. You're right. I messed up here. But then goes on to say, this is what I should have done. Well, if that's what you should have done, then you should have done it from the get-go.
Always, I think is, you know, going to be essentially my rule of thumb, you know, coming out of this situation. You know, especially even in this, I can relate to feeling at times like, you know, even on, you know, your subreddit, I felt like sometimes the clips from my streams are, you know, have been kind of chopped up. And I think that that's been a big lesson to me as well. If I can relate to you in that, I can relate to other content creators and be like, okay, I need to always look at what I'm viewing and go to the full original source whenever possible, 100% of the time. I entirely agree with that.
Right. And I just think, well, what you're saying is like good and mature and correct. And I think that's a great way to conduct yourself going forward. I also think that like, if you're accusing someone of calling babies terrorists, that like this work should have already been done. That's like an incredible thing to say.
You know, again, I did not accuse someone of calling babies terrorists. I said, you know,
that's exactly what you did.
Even more insensitive, like
again, deemed by others. But like I say, you know, I should go to the source originally, and then you know, moving forward, and then you know, show on screen the original post of.
She's trying to cut him off and not let him say what he's trying to say, because she already knows that he's got a slam dunk on her. So he's like, the only way I can stop him from doing this right now is by going forward and trying to like just interrupt as much as I can at this point. But like, because she knows that he's about to lay a smackdown on her.
You know, this is what people have said. You know, make
I have
it
the
more
link
clear
to the original.
What's up, New Moon?
Let's just
saying that Palestinians are taught at 2 years old to kill Americans.
that's pretty spicy.
Yeah.
Do we have that one?
mean,
Like
Put that
Kamala,
under the other one.
I could add it.
Both of his
he
clips are
says
about-
that in
he
this
said that at the
rally.
rally.
Oh, that's epic.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, okay.
Yeah, we gotta watch the Rudy
But I'm
part.
just saying, I
haven't
really
seen
think it's important that people understand. Like, I understand you want to conscientious object, but he is the most pro-Israel president that's ever existed. He literally said about a war. Now, I mean, obviously, we disagree with Rudy Giuliani and Trump, and we're opposed to their policies. So, like, to watch this and then, like, even if it's someone else's opinion, like, not everybody's opinion is valid, worth sharing, right? Like, I might say that the moon landing is fake, but you're not gonna be like, well, one people say the moon landing is fake, and NASA said the moon landing happened, so I don't know what's the truth. Like not all arguments are you know, like have equal merit.
I mean, I guess like, would you 100% disavow what Rudy Giuliani said?
Obviously, and I've done that a billion times.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to make that clear.
Yeah, but like, I mean, but you made a 3-hour video about me, so I just feel like.
But also, if I can.
Hila's here, by the way.
I'm here too.
Yeah. Hi.
Hi. I mean, watching this back myself, it's clear to me that I'm like processing so many things. And when AB says that, I was kind of shocked too, because I haven't seen the clip, and that's what I say. I'm like, I haven't even seen that. I don't know. And then says something, and it's just me processing everything. And plus, I never actually said anything. And so, like, it just seems like the way you present it,
I mean, she did imply that she was agreeing with Rudy Giuliani, like that he wasn't wrong in what he said. So I do feel like maybe Hila's being a little bit. And plus, Ethan had just said right before that that was not her responding to that, which we just saw in the full clip right there. That was her responding to that. So that's actually a W for Madison right there, that she was right. So I'm gonna be fair here. This is what being unbiased actually looks like.
you didn't even doubt it, is how I interpret your statement. You say Hila has made comments. You also say it in plural, like there's many comments that deemed blah 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 blah. So,
and by the way, the only people making that claim is just snark. Like,
but,
when we
what are the comments? I actually didn't say anything, and that is your example that you show. You show me not saying anything.
But these kind of talking points always come out of snark. Like, we'll end an episode, and then we'll see something like this, and we're like, what? Like that was like wholesale invented, right? And also,
yeah, it's invented, but you can also get the intention behind what she's saying there. I mean, it's not that hard to figure out what Hila was probably trying to insinuate. You know, we're not idiots. Yeah, she didn't flat out say that, right? But she did kind of be like, well, I'm not disagreeing with him.
Just another comment on this one is that AB, I don't know if you know, he's Muslim, and he wouldn't just sit here and like sit passively by if Hila was calling babies terrorists, right? Like, that's also kind of an insult to him.
Yeah, the thing is,
sorry to I really apologize. It feels like ganging up.
I didn't want to chime in because I don't want to seem like we're ganging up. But I will just say on this point that, yeah, these people who you're sourcing, they don't care about the truth. They're just trying to find any little clip they could misrepresent for their narrative. And again, it is, they don't care that I'm Muslim, I'm Arab, I brought it up. I would not just sit here like an idiot if Hila was like, oh, your people are killing people at 2 years old. And I'm just like, yeah, okay. It wouldn't happen.
Yeah. I mean, I guess to speak on what I have seen online, which, again, I experienced this as well, and of not speaking up enough, not saying what's happening is a genocide. And I think that that's essentially a sentiment of you need to speak up more. Sorry, I bumped my mic. And that's what I did.
You could tell she's so nervous. The fact that she accidentally touched her mic and she goes, sorry, I bumped my mic. Like, I don't know. Like, she's completely out of her league right here. I guess she thought that, now, Diorio, I did watch a little bit of his response to this, and I did think he made a decent point that she thought this would be an easy layup going after H3 because there's so many people who dislike him, that it would be an easy layup, an easy way to bring in a bunch of views, 3 hours long. She's going to get a ton of watch time for it, maybe 1 million views, get a couple grand for the work that she put into it, and that she would get no blowback because it's Ethan Klein and nobody cares. I don't think she expected Ethan Klein to respond to this, but at the same time, Madison is not a small creator anymore. It's not like I made a video on Ethan Klein and he's not going to watch it. Like, you made a video that a lot of people are going to watch. You did not double check your resources or research, and you were completely reckless with this. And this just absolutely is burying any kind of reputation you had online now, because you looked for an easy slam dunk, and he's right in that situation.
Didn't do, and so, to kind of like listen to that side of this sort of sentiment, maybe that's what sort of happened in that situation, is they had essentially, especially Hila, unfortunately, again, I'm out of my depth in here. I'm this is sort of an argument that's, I'm making for, a situation I don't understand.
You could tell she does not live stream very often. When I start live streaming, I would say after like every other 5 words. I'm like, right? Do you know? Like, because it's a nervous tick. You fill the gaps with ums and because you don't want dead air. But as I've gotten used to live streaming now, I can say things and not feel like I need to fill it in with I still do it sometimes, but it's not nearly as bad as it was when I first started live streaming, and I felt like dead air was like the death of the channel. Now I can actually formulate my thoughts, take breaks between what I'm saying, say sometimes, Sorry, I just got here. Are you watching Blind? No, this is H3H3 versus I keep forgetting her name, Madison from Cruel World Happy Mind.
And so, excuse my ignorance. I don't know what I'm fully talking about here. But what I can maybe say to that is with your background.
Like, stop acting stupid. That you know.
I think maybe people are wanting you to sort of disavow those sort of statements more. Maybe that's what happened in that situation. And because you said,
do you know that I haven't? Do you know that I haven't disavowed?
I think that, again, with Rudy's statement, maybe they were just expecting like a sort of like, that is fucked up. How dare he say that? Like,
yeah, but you don't have to see. That's the problem. You mean like, have I watched this Blind? So is this my first time watching through this? So this is my first time watching through the debate. I did watch through H3's initial reaction to the video, but this is my first time watching through their back and forth. So I am giving my takes as they go back and forth. I don't think that Madison's doing a very good job of... I could tell she's very, very nervous, so maybe she's not formulating her words very well, but I do think there's been like one point so far that I think that she had an easier way of explaining to them that she just didn't do, and I don't know if that's because she's nervous or what, but not going well for her so far.
Kind of thing.
Were you watching? Did you watch the whole podcast?
And welcome, Tiff.
I don't even know.
I would love to see a clip. I would love to see you say that.
I don't remember what happened the rest of the podcast, but I've disavowed what's happening in Gaza many times.
Yes, I know, and I showed those clips in my section.
Oh, so she.
So what was the problem, I guess, with me? What are the many comments that I've made?
Yeah. So again, I was attempting to say these are people's issues with
No, but you said Hila has made comments in plural that have deemed, and then you finished the sentence. So
Madison, why don't you just say that the way that you said "I mean" after what Rudy Giuliani said made it appear as though you were agreeing with what he said, and leave it at that. I don't understand why it's... I know she's nervous, but like it would be so much easier if you just made this clear to Hila, because that's what Hila's confused about, is that you're not backing up what you were going for with that particular clip. Now, she took it from a TikToker who did say that stuff, so I don't know if maybe Madison is like, well, did you watch the TikTok? I see what Madison was trying to say there, but at the same time, Hila's right in that you can't put words in Hila's mouth, even though she kind of was like, well, Rudy Giuliani might not be wrong with the way that she said "I mean," doesn't mean that Madison is completely wrong.
What are the comments that I've made?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I can go online. I think the main ones that I remember seeing, the main ones that I remember seeing is that and the...
That was not a comment.
She didn't say anything, to be clear.
No, okay, I gotta be fair here. She did say "I mean" after Rudy Giuliani said the thing, okay? Let's not be coy. I know that she didn't flat out say that she agrees with what he said, but she did say "I mean," kind of hinting. Like if somebody was like, "God, man, Sydney Sweeney's hot, don't you think?" And I was like, "I mean," you guys would be like, "Oh, he's agreeing that he thinks she's hot, right?" So that's exactly what Hila did. I don't know why it's so hard for Madison to just say that. Just say it. So that we're just doing this round and round and round now.
What did I say there?
If that's the main one, I mean, that's like a really, like, I don't know if you're understanding the gravity of like how much of a fucked up, excuse my poor language, fucked up thing that is to say about somebody. You call babies terrorists, right? Like that is an incredibly incendiary thing. That's not something to say.
Yeah, now, Hila never flat out said that, because Rudy Giuliani, I believe, did say that they're raised to hate them from 2 years old or something like that. And then Hila said, well, I mean, You know, I think, and typically that would be followed by he's not wrong. But that's not what Madison said. Madison said that she hates babies and babies are terrorists or something like that. And that's not what, I don't think you could get anywhere on the record Gila saying that, which obviously it's not something you can report on if it's not that definite.
Hey, about someone who like just did this with their head.
But also, you started by saying to me right now how much you don't know anything about this. Do you know that I'm Israeli and I grew up there and I have family there?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you assuming that I don't know anything about anything? Because, like, it just seems like you're just making assumptions about
I'm
me.
saying, I think
you're just making the worst assumption about me without knowing me, without hearing what I've said. You're putting words in my mouth. I didn't say anything.
That is what's happening.
That's the YouTuber way, though, right? That's the YouTuber way. We look at people we dislike and then we just go, that guy right there, he sucks, and I know because I know him. I've watched his content. Like that's just everybody does that.
Or there's words being put in our mouth. I mean, because that like literally. Sorry to cut you off. I really don't want to feel like ganging up. I want to give you all the space. Excuse us for if it gets like emotional and defensive.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, I feel like at times what's essentially happening is I'm being sort of roped in with, this sort of snark drama.
You are.
Those aren't
That's
always my opinions. I think what might have become botched in the coverage is I'm attempting to describe what's happened online or what's transpired online.
That is a flat out lie, Madison. Come on, girl. Come on. You know exactly what you were doing. You knew how you were painting the room. It's like you paint a room white and you go, well, I was kind of really hoping that it was, gonna look a little more bluish. And you go, well, you bought white paint. Yeah, but I don't know. I guess I just kind of was really hoping that, the way that the sun came in or something would make it look more blue. Yeah, but you bought white paint. What did you think was gonna happen when you painted with white paint? It's gonna look white,
So I'm not. I can see how with my coverage it looks one-sided. Again, I can see saying, oh, I'm unbiased is not fucking true,
Yeah, it is. It's actually incredibly true. There's no way that you made that video with any kind of like hopes that you could somehow spare Ethan Klein.
As I tried to describe in my live, I try and take a broad view approach. So it's like, okay, let me look at what's transpired over here, what's transpired over here. And I don't think I did that enough in this video at all. I 100% agree with that.
So just to cap off this one clip, so just to confirm, she did not say babies are terrorists. Like, you agree with that, right?
Yes. Yeah. Again, it seems within the context of the clip that she's agreeing with Rudy Giuliani's statements. I'm very glad.
Okay, finally. It only took her 45 minutes to say that.
That you guys have both said you do not agree with those statements.
Sorry, if this is a broken record, but again, the words you use in agreement with her is that she said babies are terrorists, not that she's agreeing with what Rudy.
Hey, Carla.
No, you said someone else said it. I acknowledge that. And by the way, the source for that clip is from H3 Snark. And again, you can source Snark, but I do think it's important to point out that when that is
as I said, I do agree with those sentiments of moving forward. I have to, find other clip sources and,
Another big problem that Madison had in her video is that she keeps saying that she's sourcing this from the H3 subreddit, not the H3 Snark subreddit, which is a way different. The H3 subreddit is a subreddit of fans that support H3. The H3 Snark subreddit is a bunch of people who hate H3. So if you're sourcing information from H3 Snark, I think it's important that you make the differentiation between the two subreddits so that because that way if you're sourcing something from H3 subreddit and it's his own fan saying this, it comes with a lot more weight than when you source something from the H3 Snark subreddit where it's a bunch of people who obviously hate him and want to paint him in the worst way possible. We've seen this play out with Nerd City situation, right? The entire YouTube drama subreddit all attacked him because of the things that he said, and when he went in there and argued, they tried to make him look like he was an idiot, when in reality he was just like, you guys are lying about me, blatantly lying about me. Like, why am I supposed to be okay with this? And so that's why you can't source stuff from Reddit.
Watch the full thing in context and always be sure I'm doing that. Again, usually when I cover someone, it's like, okay, what are their criticisms of them? What are online commentary? What are their support pages? What are things directly from their sources? I try and look at, again, all these different sort of, threads and then pull them together in a video. I think, again, after this experience, I 100% agree that if I'm finding a source and it's a clip from one thing, I need to find the full source. I need to verify. I think that's a responsible, creator ethics thing to do.
Then why are you waiting now to do that?
Sorry to labor a point I've already been over, but just again, Hila did not say that babies are terrorists. Despite what other people said online on Snark or TikTok or whatever, like, that's just a fact. She did not say that, right? She did not say babies are terrorists.
Yeah, I think it was an online worry of many people, you know, from...
Okay, well, an online worry of people is not something that should be reported in a video that you're making about another content creator. That's just flat out disingenuous and bad faith.
What I've read, you know, and so
yeah, but she didn't say that, right? Just to be clear.
No, she said, I mean, and nodded her head. And again, you know, I guess moving forward, again, you know, it's, you know, I'll have to, you know, practice discernment.
Do you guys know? Do you know? How many times do I gotta say you know before it sinks in? I want her to say that. Like, do you know? Because it seems like right now you don't know. And all I need you to do is sit your ass down in that chair and know a couple things. And if you can't figure that out, then I don't know what to do with you know?
With each situation, but especially with a very sensitive situation like this, you know, maybe just saying exactly.
Can we get a you know counter? That'd be sick, dude. We need to get a you know counter.
What was said in the video before showing the clip, and you know.
You know, the whole context of that conversation was we were talking about how Trump was horrible for Palestine and he was worse for Palestine than Kamala would have been. So like even the whole context of the conversation, if you go back and look at it, is being critical of Trump and Giuliani and all of those people for being, you know, demons when it comes to advocating for Palestinians, or they're doing the opposite, right? They're advocating for against Palestinians.
I mean, I don't doubt that.
But, you know, at the same time, though, Ethan, the way that Hila responded with, I mean, made it seem like she was agreeing with what Rudy Giuliani said in that specific situation. I don't think that's too hard to wrap your mind around.
Here's the beginning of the conversation, just to give a Palestine.
Yeah, she's doing the I heard dog pack thing. You're right, dude. She is. Now that you mentioned it, Blue Jay, it's exactly what she's doing. I heard from H3 subreddit that Hila thinks that babies in Palestine are terrorists. That's exactly what she's doing. You're right.
The movement of not voting is so funny to me. Especially by people pro-Palestine, because if Trump gets elected,
he's the most pro-Israel president of all time.
It's not good for the movement.
Like, he is fucking insane. Like,
at his rally, Rudy was saying that Palestine.
I guess it's just a little bit before that, but we can move on to a different one. This clip, I guess I just want to get your thoughts on why you included the. Oh, sorry.
I heard.
I just want to get
if
your
you
thoughts
heard
on why
it on Reddit, then it's true. That's true.
Here. So I'll play this for you, and then you can explain. Here it is.
Seem more and more erratic. His statements harsher, bizarre, and more extreme.
Hassan Piker has lost all of his marbles. The mullet rolls are gone, people. Hard hitting, man.
Sorry, was that covered?
Yeah.
My bad. Let me go back. I'm user errors. Boomer alert. Sorry.
Seem more and more erratic. His statements harsher, bizarre, and more extreme.
Hassan Piker has lost all of his marbles.
Oh my God! I did it.
The mullet rolls are gone, people. Hard hitting, man.
So what are you trying to show there?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're talking about one creator, you know, losing their marbles, and I think at the same time, there's been same clips sort of spread of people making the same insinuations about you. You know.
What do you?
Hey, what's up, Elaine? Yeah, of course I'm gonna cover this. This is so much like the Savannah pierogi situation, so I had to dip my toes in this one.
What is it you're showing though? You're zooming in on something.
Marbles.
I actually don't know what it is. It looks like a tattoo. I think I've seen.
So why did you zoom in on that?
I think that she's trying to hint that those are like track marks. You know, like from like a heroin user or an IV drug user. That's what I think she thought they originally were. Or the editor thought they were. And he didn't realize they were a tattoo, and the editor's trying to like zoom in on and make them look like track marks. She is friends with Savannah, so yep, that's what I mean, man. That's what I mean. The two birds of a feather flock together, you know.
I'm not gonna. I work with a team of people, but I'm not going to, talk about their choices.
Dude, now that I pointed out the that's all I can hear is every time she says
You know what I mean? I'm not gonna.
Well, I mean, not really.
No, it's like no, I don't know. You've been saying this whole time, and I got to be honest, I don't. Shock.
I mean, it is your project. Ultimately, if it's representing you, I would I would certainly not want my other collaborators having hidden opinions in there that I didn't approve of, right? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Dude, I'm so happy he said that because that's essentially where I think this went off the rails. Although I don't think that Madison's got to probably watch these videos before she posts them and hope that it turns out right. Like, is she telling me that she doesn't screen the videos before they go up? Because that's what it's sounding like. And she doesn't want to throw her editors under the bus, but they are also kind of what she's hinting at is that my editor made that decision for me and I didn't really see a problem with it.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
trying to think of the best way to navigate that, to be honest. I work with researchers, I work with editors, and I really
you
do
included this
believe
clip, you don't know what it means.
So there's certain, okay.
See, this is getting so much worse for Madison now because now all of her videos that people thought that she's been like this, she's so talented, she's so amazing, her videos are so good. You're finding out little by little that she has really nothing to do with any of it. You could go on my channel, every video that is there, whether it's a stream or whether it's one of my main channel videos, 9 times out of 10, I did all of it. There was a time where Radir was helping me out with streams and cutting streams together for me. But most of the time, I do all the work myself. You can see it's pretty clear that Madison doesn't know which part is coming from where. Recrow's phrase says, I think she's lying about her team. She said numerous times that she's a one-man show, and that's why it takes so long. I think it's just friend on the Snark page she claims to not follow. Either that or she's lying about being a one-man show. Because, a lot of these girls that come from these anti-MLM... First, welcome, Marie. I think a lot of these people who come from these anti-MLM communities have, like, a group of people that were there. It started with them when they were doing the anti-MLM stuff, and they just helped research moving forward. I can see she's big enough now that she could hire an editor. So either she is editing this stuff and lying about, the editing process, or she is lying about doing it all herself and that the editors actually do the large part of the work. So either way, she is looking like a liar in some way or another. Yeah, it drives me nuts when someone says, when answering a question, no, I don't know. That is why I asked the question. Well, I'm glad that Ethan did say at one point, no, I when she said, and he was like, no, I don't know.
Okay, sorry. I'm trying to think of the best way to navigate this.
Sure.
This is a total.
And take your time. I don't want you to feel pressure. Take whatever time you need to consider it.
Yeah.
If I'm talking over you too much or being too pushy, just tell me to, and I'll back off. Like that. Really, I'm sorry. I'm getting
it's
like
okay.
That's just kind of how I talk, and sometimes it's not great.
He's pissed. He's definitely pissed, and that's why he's like, if I'm coming off like a dick, please put me in line.
I appreciate that. Yeah. So I think that at the end of the day.
Yeah, Tiff, I definitely think that someone writes her scripts, someone does her research, and then she's at the point now where she just sits down and reads it, and that's it. And then she sends it off to be edited. I think that's where she's at in her content creator journey. She's almost at 1 million subscribers. She could definitely afford to pay for all these people. She's a mom, too, so she doesn't have time to be sitting there editing all day, for sure. She probably does the sets. She does the camera work, right? Sets up the camera, sits down, sends off her audio files, records those videos, but then it goes to an editor who puts together the rest of the stuff for her, and then it's sent back to her for approval. She's been doing this long enough that could easily be what people who have like 100 and some thousand subscribers are able to do that. She's over 500,000. Ethan also calls her out because she says a clip was done by her editor, and in the same sentence admits that she pulled the clip. So she does screen this. So that if she does say that, Ree, then that's her previewing these things, and then it's being like, okay, that's fine, which completely contradicts what she's saying here now. Good call if she does say that. Point it out to me.
To be just as respectful as possible, I don't want to discuss decisions that my team members made because that's really not. Sorry. Also, my team member is calling me right now. I work with a team member who I work with a few different team members that I've worked with for literally since I was 2 months postpartum and losing my mind a little bit. With a
small little hint there to get some. I was postpartum. That's why I needed the help. Like a little bit of. Feel sorry for me. You got kids. I got kids, right? We got kids. We all got kids. Can you stop being so mean to me and making me look so bad?
Baby, my husband has been
I know, I want to get a
for a
counter.
few years now, but he was in the field for a month when I was about 2 months postpartum, and that was usually the point when I was like, okay, I don't know if I can really be a military wife, and
what does this have to do with anything? What is she saying? You know what? This is going back to her basically saying, I don't do this stuff myself. I have a bunch of people who make all these videos for me. It's their fault. It's not my fault. She's doing the Illuminati, dude. She's doing she is the Illuminati now, man. She got a whole bunch of people making all these videos for her. She sits down, reads the script, sends them off, and they're done. And then she collects the money, pays the people what they get, and then back on to the next video. That's it. She's not double checking this. But her name's on it, so she's responsible for what comes out of these and what is said in these videos.
Yeah, that was actually the time when 2 of my team members found me, and an editor and a researcher. And, we've been working together for a long time. And I think that ultimately, as a content creator, all of that falls on me, all of the decision-making process, all of the researching process.
It's a start.
Yeah, there's some things in there that are mistakes that I didn't do, like there's some things in there that were research links and things that I didn't provide, but at the same time I verified all of it. I'm the one that posted it, so it all falls on me, if that makes sense. And also,
no, it doesn't make what if he's like, no, I don't get it? Of course it makes sense. That's the one time she's like, where she could say, and he would be like, yes, I do know that part, because he has a whole team of people behind him too. Oh my God, the sad fishing is so painful. I feel for her pain, but she weaponizes it in a random and gross way. Yeah, it's like she was really just feeling the beatdown that she's receiving during this debate, and she needed something to make people feel even the slightest bit bad for her right now. And unfortunately, Madison, you look like you have a really nice house. You're a pretty girl. You're a successful content creator. Nobody feels bad for you. You are in the top half of successful people. It's like most people aren't going to feel bad for you. I'm sorry. It's just the way it goes. Yes, it sucks that you went through postpartum, but you recklessly put this video out looking for some clicks. She's probably caught in these echo chambers of the far left and thought that that's just how everybody feels. So that when she put this out, who's going to give her blowback? Because they all feel the same way. That's what everybody around me is saying. But that's what happens when you get stuck in these echo chambers is everybody says the same shit back to you that you say to them. And then you get false sense of security that that's how everybody else feels.
So as part of the growing process, it's my job to sort of be like, okay, how can we grow from this? How can I expand the sort of, project and everything? Kind of similar as you've done over the years, with your team.
Sure, yeah, you want to build teams. And obviously, you can't get stuck doing everything yourself. Otherwise, you can't grow. But just
I do think that this has
I gotta find a team then, guys. I'm not getting any bigger than this if I keep doing it all myself.
been a really, sorry, also I interrupted you. I do think this has been a good lesson for me to kind of scale back a little bit and, really focus on, because I think that, really focus on the research coming from me for a little bit, just a few projects at least to really be like, okay, with all these lessons in mind, how do I, move forward and kind of do those things and get used to that.
And listen, we all learn, we all have learning experiences. I just wish it wasn't at the cost of my life.
Good point, Ethan. That is a big time point, and I think that probably just slapped Madison with a big dose of reality that she hasn't heard yet. Because I guarantee all she's hearing is from her inner community saying, "Oh my God, you're so amazing! All your videos are so great. They're so right. You're so brave with how you approach topics, and always take the right perspective." And this is the first time where she's had to actually face someone that she's made one of these videos about and see how it affects them and what she says affects those people. And I hope it really sinks in for her. She probably counted on Hassan and co watching it without the Twitch commie boost, though takedown pieces flop. That's a good point. Maybe she thought Hassan would watch it and back up everything she said. But Hassan does not support the people around him the same way that, a lot of other content creators do.
I mean, again, as I've communicated to you, a lot of those, again, that statement that we just went over, the Rudy Giuliani statement, I can go back and edit out. And any other ones that we come across here, if you show me the full context and I think it doesn't fully apply, or I talk to you and you disavow.
I'll leave the I'll leave the editing choices up to you. My point is not to remove
but I also
or to silence
have a positive
criticism.
Conversation.
I just to kind of just Yeah, exactly. But just kind of because I'm not sure if you answered. So what? So
Seem more
do you
and more
have an
erratic.
opinion about
His
why there's
statements harsher, bizarre.
why you're zooming in on my
um,
leg here? I'll just play. It's really short.
Has lost all of his marbles.
She's deemed by some that she doesn't care. I would say it's a fair point, Tiff. She is definitely deemed by some that she doesn't give a shit.
The mullet rolls are gone, people. Hard hitting, man.
So there's a very deliberate effort to zoom in there, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess my main question is why was your leg up when you were?
That happens all the time. I mean, I do that literally every episode.
Dude, I'm literally sitting here with my legs up right now. Like that's how a lot of people sit when they do videos. Like we're sitting here for a long time. Sometimes we just want to get a little more comfortable. It's not a big deal. I don't understand what I do think that the person was zooming in thinking those were track marks or cut marks or something that shows that he's like either self-inflicting pain or he's doing drugs or something. That's where I think they were going with that.
Episode.
Okay.
So my leg being up is implying something?
I mean, is it the most professional? I don't know.
Is that why you included it when you're talking about?
This girl sometimes lays out on her bed in some of her videos. She lays out on her bed looking like she's waiting for some man to come in and take her. I'm very familiar with Madison's content. I used to watch her back in the day before she got all political. And she would use sex to sell her videos. And she would literally be on the bed, like looking like she's waiting, giving you the F me eyes, waiting for someone to come and take her. And that was like part of her appeal. So I don't understand like why Ethan can't do the same thing. Or Ethan can't be like, yeah, I'm just a chill guy laying back, talking, whatever.
Have I claimed to be the most professional?
Is that a tattoo?
It is a tattoo, yes.
Okay, yeah.
But it seems, if I can make an assumption, the insinuation here clearly seems to be that I'm on drugs of some kind. I think they're trying to imply that I'm on meth or something like that. And the edit.
I don't know if that would be the.
Did you notice he switched the pause that he was on because it was a bad picture of him? He was like.
Proper insinuation, because to be honest, my team members know that I have a family member who's a meth addict, who's very close to me. So.
Right. Yeah, but so. Well, then what is it? I just genuinely don't know what it means. I'm getting more and more erratic. People in Snark and in that world calling me, saying that I'm on drugs, which is, again, a really fucked up thing, excuse my language, to say about a dad of 3. Someone who has Tourette's, someone who has anxiety disorders, someone who deals with all this stuff in the public eye, to insinuate that I'm ever on drugs or that I'm somehow acting.
Extreme. Hassan Piker has
you say I'm acting more extreme, and then you show a close-up.
Marbles.
Of me
gone, people.
And it almost looks like someone's trying to say that it's like a scar, like a scratch wound, and I'm just manically kind of grabbing my leg like I'm on some kind of drug. Like that seems to be the obvious insinuation to me.
I said that before.
I mean, that
he said that.
Certainly be your opinion on that.
Well, what is
that? Yeah, there's no other. It can't possibly be any other reason, Madison. I mean, credit to you for pulling out. Like you just look unprofessional. That's the best you can come up with at the time. But we know what you're trying to say because you're saying it to us through the editing.
If you don't know, then who does?
I mean, so the reason why I put that is
Ethan is crushing her.
To be also, again, I do think, and I'm certainly not devoid of hypocrisy. I think that there's a certain, which we'll probably get into. I think that I can certainly, deploy hypocrisy, and that's happened a few times. And I think that anytime that happens, it's within anyone's right to check me on that, for me to reevaluate and, learn from that. But I think that it was
hypocritical. It'd just be wrong and kind of mean-spirited.
Well, no, I was kind of saying, as far as, you're sort of saying like, oh, someone's lost all of, Hassan's lost all of his marbles, kind of.
He did. That is straight fact. By the end of their call, I knew more about her than it's the case for most of my coworkers. So you know more about her than you do about your coworkers?
Casually saying that, but you're very hurt when other people say the same thing.
So this is showing me losing my marbles?
That's showing that you're saying other people are losing their marbles.
Zooming in on my leg.
Also, again, that wasn't my particular editing choice, but I'm just trying to say,
I just find it interesting that there's like edits in here that you don't somehow even know why they're there or what they mean. I do find that, and again,
it's a 3-hour video. If you think that Madison sat down and actually went through this video checking all this stuff, you would be crazy. There's no way she did that. She just trusted it, sent it out, and then hoped for the best, that it would get views and give her money.
This is like, I feel like you don't treat these videos with the gravity they deserve. Like, once again, you're talking about my life.
I agree.
And you are making extraordinary claims about me and my family, right? Like,
good point, Tiff. She does say that anytime that Ethan's really got her up against the ropes on a point, she'll bring up something that has absolutely nothing to do with the topic they're talking about so that she could talk about herself and her life and how hard she's had it. Like, it makes no sense. It's like she's defaulting back to the Illuminati interview that made her popular in the first place, where, oh yeah, Illuminati was so mean to me and that's what helped build her. And I think she's defaulting back to that, being like, yeah, I don't really pay attention to my editing because once when I was younger, a guy took a picture of me and I didn't like it, and it wasn't a great picture of me. It's like, what the does that have to do with anything? Modat TV, what's up, man? How's it going? And Bella Gista over on Twitch, how's it going, guys?
Or damaging, hurtful, like career, reputational, and just personally, like very hurtful and horrible things that should never be said without an extraordinarily serious. I am a person, right? Like, at the end of the day, I'm not just like some fucking drug addict with his foot up on the desk that you can just say anything you want about. Like, it's just not. It's just I am a person here, right? Like, and all these people that you sourced, all these snarkers and stuff. I mean, like, I don't think even you can tell me with a straight face that these people are not obsessed and attempting to destroy my life and everyone's around me life with whatever means they have. Mm-hmm. And it even means lying outright.
I mean, I don't deny that there aren't people that do that on the internet. I've had people go into my aunt's page, which I'm upset at my aunt right now because I have a policy of not posting my child online, and
Here we go again. When did Ethan bring up your aunt, and why are you talking about your kid, and why? And the one time they got posted online. This has absolutely nothing to do with anything. Unless she's trying to say that her aunt is ruining her life by posting a picture of her kid online. That is not even close to like similar in this situation. It makes no sense what she's talking about.
I've had family members who just ignore that. I don't know if this has ever happened to you where you're not even in the room and someone's, babysitting your child and then they take a photo and that ends up on like their Facebook page or something. And people currently are posting that photo.
Yeah, that's horrible. I would hate for that.
And so, I completely agree. Some of that, I think, it's my opinion. I think that unfortunately comes with our job. And I think that's why a lot of times being a content creator is not mentally healthy. It's not the best, that is just genuinely my opinion. Like, being a content creator is not a good career for your mental health. If you
Okay. Ree says every single time. I think she's used to giving die eyes, playing dumb, and giggling to get her out of trouble. Facts. Then sad fishes, if that doesn't work. Facts. We've seen both of those examples so far, and it doesn't seem like anything sunk in. Yeah, I think that she's going to change her content after this, but I think that this is also going to absolutely cripple her, like, ability. Yeah, Mom, Dad, it's EG Lately. It's my YouTube channel. It's where, like, the majority of my content goes up.
Well, like, the best mental health, maybe don't become a content creator.
Right, especially one that people make careers lying about.
But but at the same time, when it comes to speculation, I think again, I have a family member who's really close to me who's a meth addict, and also I think in general that addiction is very misunderstood.
I'm not addicted to drugs, by the way. I don't take drugs.
Yeah, it's like his delivery was just like. That's great that you have a cousin who's a meth addict. I don't see what that has to do with me. I don't do drugs. I definitely do not do drugs and have no idea where you're going with this. Victims always have the story they can pull out of their pocket. They keep it in there for a reason. Oh, yeah. Well, she's running out of things to say, I think. I think that she knows that right now she's looking absolutely terrible and trying to say anything that will redeem her to anybody.
Yeah, no.
Just for the record, because and I empathize with you, right? I mean, addiction is horrible and damaging, but I do not. Well, I'm not on drugs.
Yeah, what I was going to say is that he's literally the most functional person.
Thanks, Bella Gista.
I mean, you wouldn't. Most people.
Right, but I don't take drugs. Just for the record.
Yes, no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying well,
then why are you telling me about your cousin?
It's again something that I've talked about a lot in therapy because.
There you go. Sad fishing again. Oh, I'm in therapy. I'm trying to work through all this stuff. I'm just a horrible person who destroys people's lives, and I need to talk to a therapist. So maybe in the future I'll stop trying to destroy people's lives. But this isn't my fault. This is my therapist's fault for not helping me faster.
I did smoke crack one time. I did. I don't know if you knew that in your research. That is true.
I do now. Yeah, because I did see
I get quick to be corrected on that one. I did smoke crack once.
Okay, but yeah, no, I think like a lot of addiction.
I think that he's kind of like making fun of her a bit by being like, well, yeah, I'll tell you a random fact about myself.
People have trouble empathizing with it because they see, essentially people at their worst states or these, very exaggerated things online, and they think that is across the board all addiction. And I think that's why a lot of addicts, again, not Ethan Klein, who's not an addict, but addicts, and because you don't.
I guess I don't understand the point of the conversation if I don't do drugs, right?
And there it is. He was like, enough of this. Why are we talking about this right now? I don't do drugs. Why are you mentioning addiction to me? Why are you on this rant right now? It makes no sense to me whatsoever.
Yeah, I'm just kind of saying, so what I'm trying to say is that, most addicts literally do not look like addicts. They, and that is also why they struggle to get help.
Well, that's interesting because they're saying I look like an addict in that clip, but I'm not.
Exactly. So that's why, I think that, again, what I'm trying to show when I do a lot of this content is the online concern, and I should try to essentially very heavily disassociate that from my own opinion or figure out how.
There's so many good shorts in here. Like if people were just like taking clips of this and it was just her talking about drugs and then it just ending with Ethan being like, well, I'm not a drug addict, so I don't know why we're talking about this. It would just make her look so silly.
Because essentially I'm trying to show like this is what's being posted online about a person, and this is the escalating concern, or this is the escalating, post about someone, essentially that.
I feel like based on the story you're sharing with me, that if anything, you would want to distance yourself from flippant accusations of drug abuse, right? And by the way, Anissa, who you said never provokes me, I mean, she was during my debate with Hassan tweeting that I'm on drugs. And she knows me in real life. So, I mean, that's pretty insidious. But it just seems to me that you would want to separate yourself from these flippant,
one day I could get an editor, maybe
thoughtless, irresponsible accusations of being on drugs. When you're, especially when you're talking about someone with like a Tourette's syndrome and other neurological stuff going on, right, that would cause me to be antsy and stuff like that. It just feels, again, kind of really messed up thing to.
Yeah, there's usually bots in my stream somewhere.
To say.
I just
as a parent of 3 too. Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah. I think
as a parent of 3 who's had CPS visit my house, by the way, putting out there that I'm on meth or doing drugs is an extraordinarily cruel thing to accuse a parent of in that situation.
It's fine. They usually don't stick around for too long, Bella.
I mean, yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think that, again, as far as, and I think that this is referencing the big post of concerns for Ethan's mental health on the Snark page, if that's what you're referencing, where it kind of discusses that. I think what I was trying to say with that is that essentially it did seem to me.
Yeah, if you're not a bot, say potato.
As someone who is, reading through a lot of this, that there were people that were genuinely concerned for you. Because sometimes, when I'm going through these online, for example,
Blue Jay
safe. One, person that I did research on is Brittany Dawn, who I did a video on. And when I would find different, posts about her of like online opinion pieces, a lot of them were just all hate, really, really intense. And I'm not saying that, you haven't had a lot of those posts.
When you found people expressing concern for me, were they in my community?
No, like I said, it was this master post that
it was in a community dedicated to snarking on me. They were the ones.
Tiff safe.
Expressing concern. Not
one potato at a time. Everybody's safe.
My actual fans that care about me. That sounds like concern trolling.
Yeah, I mean,
Do you think my real fans would be concerned if they thought I was on drugs?
I guess that's up to the individual person. Cause
see, she knows she cannot be this dumb, dude. She knows exactly what Ethan's saying. Is that she's used all of her resources from the H3 Snark Reddit because she's trying to appeal to the H3 Snarkers. That's it. And she's trying to like do everything she can to not admit that point. He's got her by the balls. Not, metaphorically. I don't think she has balls. And if she did, I'd be very surprised.
I think that, I wonder if someone became concerned, would they get pushed out of your community? Would that happen?
Yeah, we got a good community, Bella.
No, I don't think so. I don't believe so. I mean, there are people who get banned are people that are just being like inflammatory and mean-spirited and, a lot of kinds of people. Well, anyway, listen, let's move on to another topic.
How dare you,
we've kind of discussed that one through. This one really struck me, and I'll play it.
She's probably like, oh crap, here's a whole nother one I gotta do now. I gotta come up with a whole bunch of new sad stories to tell people about myself now.
And then you can respond to it. Here is this clip here. This one felt like very it kind of blew me away, frankly, just to be totally honest.
Implying that Ethan and Hila are pedophiles because Ethan made jokes about pedophiles and Hila has a hoodie with Care Bears is so gross. Which I hopefully did not fully imply that because, yeah, no. Even in a hit piece like this, have you no shame? Do you not care about the impact your words on people's life? I can't believe anyone can stoop to such lows.
Actually, I prefer to even show you the original clip. That was your kind of explaining it. Hold on one sec as I pull that. Sorry, I'm trying to pull the original clip so we can watch that. That'd be more instructive, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I definitely, I feel like I did not go about this the right way at all. If you could,
she's so cooked, dude. She's like, yeah, you're right. I fucked up big time, and I don't really know what to tell you other than I tried to basically assassinate your character online, and I didn't think you'd care, and now you care, and I really was not expecting anybody else to care. I thought the H3 Snark would, champion me as some kind of hero, and I gotta be honest, this is not turning out the way I expected it to go. I'd have way more respect
my original
for
script,
her.
I was going to say something completely different, and
why didn't you then? Why didn't you?
Did not say that.
Sorry, I found it, by the way.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I did write something down specifically for this because I'm very worried about not saying, I don't know, misspeaking because yeah, I feel bad about.
Clearly, she's not worried about misspeaking at all. Okay, remember, this girl is really good friends with Savannah. Savannah, the same girl who went on a tangent trying to paint Scammer Payback as a predator, and then would go on to read the text of the girl obviously trying to court him sexually. This is the same. It's like the same thing. These people care about one thing: getting clicks, getting views, and it doesn't matter who they hurt along the way. And this is the first time that she's ever had to face repercussions for doing this. Thank you, Bella. Welcome to the community. Yep. Everybody, we have an amazing community here. We have a good time.
I don't know, shitting on someone's clothing brand in the wrong way, but
you can shit on my clothing brand. I don't like being insinuated that I'm a pedophile or that I think babies are terrorists. That's like a whole different league of insult, right? But anyway, let's watch this part because this part really kind of rattled me a bit.
What could happen at any moment? Hila decided to call the brand Teddy Fresh because Ethan and Hila loved the name Theodore or Teddy. Theodore happens to be the name of their first son. Teddy is the nickname they have for each other. Following the launch of Teddy Fresh's first collection in October of 2017, the brand almost immediately saw massive success. Much of its apparel would sell out shortly after dropping, and the line reflects Hila's own personal style. While in the past I would certainly commend Hila for having—
Yeah, that's because she's friends with her Tiff. That's why she talks about how great Taylor Lorenz is. Probably one of the worst journalists in history. But yeah, she's a great, Taylor's great because she's friendly to me. And I am all about that lefty clout, baby.
A very creative style. Often some of the outfit ensembles that Hila chooses feels very childlike, with also Teddy Fresh having a little teddy bear as a logo. I don't know. Maybe it's interesting.
So can you explain to me what's interesting about, by the way, what's interesting about that?
Yeah, so essentially what I was trying to say, which I kind of wrote it down as to make sure, I don't know, because I feel like I didn't go about that the right way and how I should have described it in depth.
Okay, then what? Here's what's killing me. Does she really feel this way? Does she really feel like she shouldn't have done that? Or is she only saying this because of the blowback that she's gotten from her video? Because I don't feel like she gives a crap. What's up? All right, Fellaini, take it easy. The rest of this will be up if you want to watch it later. I heard EG loves Taylor Lorenz. Oh, she's my favorite journalist, dude. She'll be getting a Pulitzer Prize anytime now for lies in journalism.
Again, I kind of had something different that I was going to say in my script.
What was it? Do you want to say it? What it is you meant to say? Or you don't have to.
I don't know.
Yeah.
No, because again, I edited it out and didn't say it because I didn't think I should.
Oh, okay.
But yeah. So I essentially, sorry, I can also hear myself echoing. But yeah, I can see how my statement could be, taken.
Well, didn't Taylor Lorenz comment on Madison's video about H3 and just said, "This is such a great video" on X. So it's like she's ingratiated into that little circle jerk around Hassan's community. And I think that's what she thought she was going to get when she made this video. All Hassan's fans were going to become her fans. She's not the first person to try to court Hassan's fans. Although I will tell you right now, that is the worst group of fans to try to get because you can never, ever, ever please them. In fact, she actually had to put out an apology video for being too nice about Ethan Klein to them. Even though she lied about him and was doing their bidding for them, they were not happy that that she wasn't meaner. It's crazy. I bet she scripted it. I wouldn't be shocked, dude. I feel like everything she's done so far is scripted. That's why she's checking her notes right now. And she's probably got people texting her being like, girl, get out of there. You are getting whooped right now. You look terrible.
Taking things too far in online commentary, especially if you do feel like a propensity of online snarkers who are sort of, taking things to the extreme and, calling you pedophiles and, kind of.
See, the thing is, Daniel's crew, back, about 2 years ago, she was actually a really good content creator who did really good videos. And then she started getting really political about a lot of stuff. And then she just now she's just like a very disingenuous person, unfortunately. And she's trying to like ingratiate herself into certain communities, which means that she's fine with lying. She sees Denim's lie. Denim's gets an audience. So why can't she? Damn, I should send her a link to my YouTube editing nightmares song. Yeah, she may regret it now, but if she keeps trying to get Hassan fans, she'll be digging herself a deeper hole. Exactly. Didn't she apologize to Ban Empanada? We didn't even get to her apology yet. I kind of skipped over that to get to the debate, but I wanted to go through the video and all the lies that she was saying and how bad her research was because... And then she puts out an apology to Hassan and Ban Empanada.
Well,
going after your family.
Do you think that it's a stretch to watch that and say, like, to assume you're saying something about us being pedophiles or groomers or something?
So let me explain sort of the context of what I was meaning to say. And so, I think that, so essentially, looking into the research, Hila spoke about, sort of the inspiration of the clothing company being inspired by a lack of sort of colorful clothing for adults on the market. And there being, and inspired off of kind of the children's clothing that was colorful and sort of fun and playful. Again, I have plushies in, that offer me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 2020, 2021 was probably when I was watching her too. And boy, is she nothing like the creator she was back then.
Comfort in my videos
that doesn't make you a pedophile,
I love,
obviously, right?
Yeah, I love, and I think anyone who likes the same should, go for it, find things that bring them joy and make them happy. And that's why I said, in the past, I would commend Hila for her innovative style, for the way that she,
but now
brought forward, an innovative thing. The thing that sort of, that I said sort of, and the word that I said, is
let's just skip right over that.
I felt like kind of undermined that wholesomeness of the brand was seeing, your past Reddit accounts, seeing the sort of jokes that you continually make about pedophilia, seeing all of that and your closeness with the brand. I was kind of like essentially, that association.
Do I make a lot of jokes about pedophilia? I mean, I acknowledge I had that old account that's like...
It's just like, like I was calling you guys a pedophile, That's it. I was just trying to call you guys pedophiles because, make kid clothes for adults. That's, pedophilia. No, I have no idea what you're talking about right now.
15 years old and stuff. But do I make jokes about pedophilia? I don't think so. That's not like a frequent topic. I mean, I talk about Michael Jackson. That's true. Michael Jackson, I make Michael Jackson jokes.
How are the two related? Because you're saying in the past you would commend my stuff, but what's changed? I didn't understand what's changed. And then you show pictures of me that...
I'll tell you what's changed, and I think Hila knows what's changed too. She's just trying to get Madison to admit it, and that's that Madison has gotten indoctrinated into like Hassan's far leftist like extremism, and that's what's changed. And that's it. That's it.
Don't show me dressed childlike either, so
I can actually show like.
By the point.
Do you think this is childlike, this outfit?
Yeah. I did have more.
I could. It's colorful, but I definitely could see like my 10-year-old daughter wearing this. Not the belly showing for sure, but I think it's a cool outfit. And she's a grown woman, so she could wear whatever she wants. But I could see it kind of looks like kids' pajamas. So all Madison has to say is, well, it kind of reminds me of like kids' pajamas. That's it. And then that's it.
More examples in the script itself.
I'm just looking at the video.
I'm just
Yeah,
looking
yeah.
at the
This one
finished
actually,
video.
On page 8.
This one I can't say that I understand at all.
What's the
Yeah,
problem
I
with the
don't
silver
understand that either.
dress? What?
You-
I think that it was just seen as funny.
But you
What's
don't hold
funny?
it.
Like to make fun of me? Just because I'm ugly? Like what kind of funny?
Yeah, dude, Gila's got her. What are you trying to? You saying I'm ugly? Like because they're painting her exactly for the type of person that she is presenting herself to be in this. She's a mean girl, and she never thought in a million years that she would be sitting here on H3 talking about this stuff right now. I don't know what possessed her to go on. I really don't, because there is no way she thought that she was smarter than them.
You should look at the comments on Snark where this is found from and see like the kind of jokes that you're tapping into. Right?
Yeah. I will. But yeah, no, I mean, back to the point.
She's probably already seen 'em.
It's, essentially taking something. I mean, again, a lot of people have things that are sort of inspired off of,
Gila's actually a very pretty girl. Gila's actually a very beautiful woman. She got a bit of a dark, a deeper voice, but there's a lot of women out there that have deep voices. But I don't think that she's like as ugly as a lot of people say she is.
No.
And I think they only say she's ugly because it's like she's married to Ethan Klein.
Children's aspects that bring them joy.
Mm-hmm.
I think right now a good example is like all the surprise boxes, that are
Right.
sort of,
Yeah, they're not all
cutesy,
pedophiles.
the Labubus in the back of Dan's set. But
Dan's
I think
not.
that no, but I think that again, like I said, it's as I was researching for this video and seeing just like some of Ethan's past content, it was like, okay, Ethan's very involved in Teddy Fresh and often promotes the brand, and so again, like I said, it just sort of
You're talking specifically about comments made 15 years ago,
You
right?
just said this picture is funny. Like I'm wondering what was funny. Can you? I don't. You didn't say in this video that the problem became Ethan's Reddit account. That's not what was said here. You said you have a problem with how I dress.
Again, I
and
should have
you just said now that this is funny.
more in depth.
Is it just making fun
Again,
of the dress?
Yeah, they're trying to say that she looks like a man in a fire blanket. Let's just be realistic. What the photo's insinuating. On the left is the picture that Gila took, and on the right is what they say that she looks like, making fun of her. And Madison put this in her video.
I think that the photo was added in because it was seen as funny, and
What
the
do you
person that
think?
edited it.
I'm asking you, what do you think?
But you're
do
asking
you
what
think
I
this
think.
picture,
Yeah, what's funny
what
about
I'm
it?
wearing is funny? Do you think I'm dressed like a pedophile? I don't understand. What is your point?
Yeah.
This is the problem not doing your own editing. Because your editor hates Ethan way more than you and is putting in stuff that's making you look bad. And you don't want to throw your editor under the bus, so because then you're going to have everybody who's like in your team like abandon you because they'll be like, oh, well, she's quick to throw us under the bus. So now she's stuck here and trying to defend and be like, it's just funny. No, it's not. It's not funny. She was being petty to the max with Gila when she says it isn't fashionable, which is up to every individual person. I think the different people who others say have ugly features are beautiful. Yeah, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Simple as that. Some people may look at Gila and think she's not an attractive woman. Some people may look at her and think she's gorgeous. I happen to think that Gila's a very beautiful woman. I think Madison's a beautiful woman too. But it looks like Madison is looking at Gila and not seeing a beautiful woman, which is why she was fine with that meme being in the video. But never in a million years did she think she was ever going to have to sit here and talk to Gila about it.
I think that I think that if you're asking me what my specific viewpoint is on that particular outfit,
this is hard to watch.
do I think it's like really trendy right now? No, I don't think it's really trendy right now.
Okay.
I think
It's not
like,
trendy?
So the point is that I'm
I
out
don't
of
know.
trend. That would be a different video.
That's
Sure, you
like-
can make that video that I'm not trending.
I don't know. Yeah, I feel like it's
So this is another.
Girl, that dress is so last fall. Let's just be realistic about this. That's why I made fun of it, because it looks like that dress is just so last fall, and it does nothing for your figure. Like, is that really what she went with? Madison looks like a pixie. Yeah, she does. She like loves Burning Man. She's dropped acid once and changed her life forever, or she's done mushrooms and it's changed her life forever. I get that vibe from her.
Your editor kind of sneaking one in on you again?
It's a bit of a straw man, but if you want to talk about that particular photo, yeah, we can go
Wait,
in
what?
depth
Sorry,
about
what's a straw man?
that outfit. The photo itself.
The photo is in your video. How is that a straw man?
I mean, yeah, no, but if we want to debate the specifics of that photo itself, we can talk about that, you know. But if we want to talk about the sentiment that I discussed and, you know, why I meant that and why I think I should have expanded more on that, so it wasn't, you know, taken out of.
Well, again, Daniel's crew. That's why we said that everybody's got their own opinion on how somebody might look.
Context, we can discuss that as well.
These are the looks, by the way, you included in your research too.
I will say, I don't think that the bangs that Madison's rocking right now are doing anything for her.
Say that her clothing is childlike and quote unquote interesting. So, like, I mean,
yeah, I would say that is childlike and interesting.
The blue face is my artistic impression and how I interpreted famous art that I was inspired by. The other ones are Y2K inspired.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and again, I would commend that for being fashion forward and everything.
Okay.
Like I said, you know, Ethan's past comments simply, in my opinion, sort of undermined the
Just to be clear, we're talking about 15-year-old accounts posted from an account with the name troll in the name.
Yeah, and
just
you know,
to be clear, so that's the part that ruins the current day, that makes you suspicious of us in current day. Is just to be clear, is there other ones, or is it just the 15-year-old?
Your fashion is so bad, you must be a pedophile. That's essentially what she's getting at. That was her reasoning behind calling them a pedo. He's like, so are you saying she's dressed like a kid? It's not trendy. Okay, so if you're not trendy, then you're a pedophile is what we're getting at here. Okay, cool. I just want to make sure we're on the same page here. That's what makes the world go around. We all have our own likes and dislikes. Amen, girlfriend.
Old Reddit account.
I mean, again, there's been some other consistent jokes. I mean, if you want me to like create a document and send it over, compiling,
well, you already did a
you know, as many recent jokes.
Yeah,
you know,
I think you said enough.
Yeah, but like I said, you know, I agree. I should have expanded on that. If you want me to expand on it,
no, it's
I can.
Okay. I just, you know, what's interesting is after this part, I'll let it play a little bit further. What you say is interesting
a little
afterwards.
Teddy bear as a logo. I don't know. Maybe it's interesting.
Wow.
Oh, I noticed you cut out the part where you said it reminds you of when you used to get groomed in high school.
That I think that was at the end of the video, but we can watch that one.
No,
too.
I remember it. Oh, no. Wait, what? Wasn't it after that? Oh, my bad.
Yeah, they were jumping around in her video, which is probably why he thought it was after, because they watched it after that part, but they didn't watch the whole video through.
It sounds like I've got that wrong. So wait, where's that one? Oh, you have it. I apologize. I'm totally wrong on that one. Here it is.
That being said, Ethan accuses a lot of people of being.
Let me just go back to give.
And remember, folks,
this is about the Reddit
Ethan
account where
accuses a lot of people of being pedophiles and makes a lot of jokes about
this one. I'd like to say really quick. I don't think I should have included Hila's clothing in this. I think that was total. You know, I think I should have just focused on, you know, your commentary. I agree on that one.
Okay, well.
Yeah, so far you've agreed with every single thing he said to you, though, Madison. At this point, you shouldn't even have made the video. I think that's where we're getting at. Is that, you know, she apologized. I think she's just stuck being a people pleaser. I think she wants to make everybody happy, and in trying to do that, she's making nobody happy. That's how silly it sounds. It's ridiculous. I don't even know how she was confident implying that. Yeah, dude, it's crazy how, like, confident she's being in just lying in this video. And again, I think it just comes back to the fact that she never thought it was going to be any kind of repercussions for this. Madison would look pretty until she started talking. Hila gets prettier when she speaks. Yeah, that's facts. Because Hila is like very intelligent, stone cold killer. Lord, they have the patience of saints in this combo. Well, yeah, well, Ethan knows that if like his whole staff beats up on Madison, then it's gonna make them look like a bunch of bullies. When in reality, the way that they are going about it is absolutely right. They're giving her all the room. They're giving her all the rope to just, you know, do it herself to herself. You know what I mean? Hang herself. It's not physically, but metaphorically.
In the video, I'll just play it. But
Yeah.
I'm glad.
No, I do want to say thank you because this has been ongoing for so long, and people come after this small business. I employ good people here in LA. This is just a small business.
I mean, there's people in her employees' Instagram saying, "Why do you work for a pedophile?"
Yeah.
and stuff like that. I mean, that's
this
bananas,
is heavy
right?
and very serious.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not something to just play
this
around
stuff
with.
has like affected our lives a lot. Sorry to cut you off, Hila.
No, it's
I
fine.
apologize. Go ahead.
Hila's pissed.
Yeah, I mean, for my own, you know, personal context too, though, I mean, again, talk about adding bias and everything, you know, not just in terms of, you know, that sort of lighthearted joke that...
No, I don't know.
I was not lighthearted joke, but I was talking about, you know, I would growing up being like friends with different men, and they would sort of make sexual jokes, and then eventually I realized they weren't jokes at all. I also was
that would insinuate I want to fuck kids. That's the direct logic from that statement. In fact, let me just play it before we talk about it.
And makes a lot of jokes about
He's like, stop talking.
Hila dresses kind of childlike with a little teddy bear for her fashion brand. I find all of that interesting. It reminds me of when I was really young and naive and had people who I thought were guy friends that would make a lot of sexual jokes towards me. And then they would kind of nudge me and say, it's just a joke. We're just joking around. And then I would always be shocked and disappointed when some time would pass and they would try to make a pass at me.
Oh my God, guys tried to sleep with me. I have such a rough life. It sucks being so beautiful and having so many men try to sleep with me. It reminds me of that time that I told Ethan Klein he was a pedophile. Ethan's so right, dude. This is such a terrible connection. What does guys trying to sleep with you in high school have anything to do with Teddy Fresh having kids-looking clothes, like adult kid clothes? It makes no sense whatsoever. And Ethan is 100% right that this is insinuating that Ethan wants to, like, bang kids.
Time when I became less naive, I realized that those jokes weren't really jokes at all, that they actually meant what they said the entire time. Ethan's old account has
shocking.
Just so you know, there's been 0 accusations against me for anything, even talking inappropriately to fans.
Fair,
and
Carla,
of any
you're
age,
right.
anywhere. I don't have
very
a
jealous.
Snapchat. I don't talk. I don't engage fans in DMs. So
If
the
anything-
insinuation and again,
Yes. Madison's saying that like she's the first girl in history to ever have a guy try to be their friend so that they could sleep with them. It's never happened. This has only happened to Madison. Does she think that's grooming? Does Madison think that a guy trying to get close to you so he can inevitably try to date you is grooming? That is what we call evolution in my point of view. Yes, every girlfriend I've ever gotten, I've been friends with first, and then it develops into a relationship. So I don't understand what she was even trying to... First off, the way that she even said it is wrong, right? Oh, I was so shocked. I was so disappointed when these guys that I thought were my friends wanted to sleep with me. Well, what the hell did you think they wanted, Madison? Like, yes, guys like pretty women. You're a pretty girl. Are you really that shocked that guys would want to be your friend and then eventually try to see if there's a chance? I couldn't believe them. The nerve. To think I would ever sleep with them. That is basically what she's saying. I'm starting to think that maybe she just lives in a delusional world. Because there's nobody out there that would sit there and like be that insulted by men like being interested in them. But it's essentially because, well, yeah, you're right. I didn't, guys wanted to be my friends until they wanted to sleep with me, Yes, we do know. We do know that one.
and I want you to look at it from my perspective, right?
Yeah.
The insinuation that I'm grooming people, children, is not okay. It's just not. It's so destructive. It is so mean-spirited.
Yep. And that's the only way you can take it.
By the way, it's completely without basis.
If anything, if I can add, you bring up again here that I dress childlike. Where do I dress childlike?
Me and Eli have a 2-year age difference, by the way.
Again, I did say I don't think I should have added that,
Okay.
that part because I was focusing on
And then
Ethan and stuff.
I just wanted to hate on men. That's it. I just wanted to hate on all the men who've hurt me in my lifetime, and Ethan's a man. I thought you'd have my back. Don't you hate him because he's a man too?
And then the other thing, if I can also add, is that you say that basically like you've had your own experience. And I have too.
So,
I have too. And Ethan knows.
Happens
Ethan
a
knows
lot,
stuff,
Daniel's
and
crew.
We are both very sensitive to this stuff, and that's why we always pick up for victims. We're always on the side of victims. We always put.
She wasn't a victim though, Gila. She wasn't a victim. What is she a victim of? It's not like these guys SA'd her. They tried to be her friend. They joked about they were testing the waters to
Well,
see.
would you look at that. Someone's guilty of being a total badass. Chick Dugs approves this message.
Hell yeah.
At the Daniels Crew super chatted $2. It's called slander.
Yes. Well, I think that's what Ethan was saying earlier. This was just one big slander piece, which it was. A drama commentator found out that she was homeschooled, just saying. So she was homeschooled, so this wasn't even happening at school. Okay, she could be homeschooled and still have guy friends that tried to sleep with her. That, you know, she could have been in like the local play or something like that. I'm not shocked about that. Her neighbors that she thought were her guy friends tried to sleep with her or whatever. I don't see how that's a problem though. Like all she has to do is say, "I'm sorry, I'm not interested in you," and like that, and then that's it, right? That's the beginning and the end of it. How is she being groomed by these men? Like, I just don't get it. How does that make her groomed by guys that were her friends that tried to eventually make a move on her, and then she rejected them, and then that's where it ended? That, to me, is not grooming and an insult to anybody who's actually been groomed by someone.
Other creators that have done bad stuff on blast, we don't let anybody, like, push their stuff under the rug. When things come up, we talk about it. So I don't understand, why would you want to come after somebody like that?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, when I was, 16, I was born in Orange County.
Here we go. Another story about her life. She felt so bothered by people pointing out the exposed electrical outlet that she addressed it, but doesn't see why it's bad to imply that pedos are bad fashion choices. You're right. She's more worried. The electrical socket. You guys are absolutely right. I need to get that covered ASAP because that could really hurt somebody. But you know what really would hurt someone? Someone's bad fashion choices. That's really where you need to be paying attention to, because that could mean they're a pedo if they wear onesies. That's all, Isha. It's not a problem, but it's the running joke, as the last two hit pieces they talked about was Jake Doolittle and Ryan Beard. Yeah, oh man, dude. I swear, if Ethan is probably the best leftist creator on the internet right now. He is the only person who could probably be like the Joe Rogan of the left, as they say, because people can relate to him, and he's very realistic, and he's not afraid to be a little bit edgy. Like that, the only hope they have is for people to stop following Hassan, start backing Ethan Klein. And I used to dislike Ethan. I used to never be a big fan of the guy, but ever since when I saw especially when he like joined Hassan, I was like, oh no, this is not going to end well. And then he eventually like showed that he realized that Hassan was just way too far gone. And then I instantly had a lot more respect for him again after that. I was like, okay, finally, somebody who's like, no, I don't want to be a communist. Like, I'm cool with Democrats. I just don't want to be a communist.
Essentially recruited into a modeling agency and kind of part of the industry. And, there was a few different photographers that, did some pretty fucked up shit. And a lot of times it began with jokes,
That reminds me, reminds you.
So now every photographer, okay. Is she really saying that every single time that she's been hit on and she's getting groomed, this is why girls don't get, this is why guys like just don't hit on girls at all. So if I ask a girl out, does that make me instantly a predator because I asked a girl on a date? Like, how does this work then? This girl is so out of touch with reality. It makes sense that she's homeschooled because in no way would she think that this is like normal. Anybody who's been in high school knows that your friends hook you up with your other friends, and then you eventually, you see if there's an interest for a romance from there. And if they say no, that's fine. Although I've seen friends who've been rejected several times and end up marrying the person that they got rejected by several times in a row because they just never gave up and they just really cared about that person. Does that make that person a groomer too? In fact, two of my friends were high school lovers. He loved her all throughout high school. She dated every guy in the circle except for him. He ended up marrying her, and they got kids together now, and they're the happiest couple I know. Is he a groomer? It makes no sense. And they both are in love. Ethan sees the nuance in topics, and that's the biggest problem with most people, especially creators. Yeah, because everybody wants everything to be black and white. You're not allowed to see nuance in topics. If a woman says no, the guy should respect that and not keep trying to get with her. Well, it depends. If he tries doing romantic gestures and he's not like impeding on her personal space or interfering in her life, and just every few months, just shoots a message, be like, hey, just wondering you change your mind. I'd still love to take you out to dinner. I don't see that being a problem. But if the guy's like, showing up at our house constantly trying to be like, go on a date with me, that's not, can't be doing that shit. But she's not giving like any specific examples. She says some photographers were a little gross. But she's a model. Isn't she supposed to look sexy? What are they like? Look sexy for us, Madison. And she was like, ew, gross. I'm a model, not a piece of meat. It's like, no, actually, being a model is actually being a piece of meat. All right, I need people to want to look at these pictures. I can't do that if you won't look sexy at these stupid pictures.
Do you have me?
I think that in general, my personal opinion is that from my experience, jokes can sometimes not be jokes at all.
Just to be clear, we're talking about 15-year-old Reddit account with troll in the title.
Yeah, I mean, again, like I don't know you as a person. This is me, like, covering situations and just seeing a lot of jokes
You actually
being made.
Glazed up Hassan pretty hard. I mean, at one point, even way more recently than me,
Ray.
he has videos saying he always knew Hannah Montana was a little slut, and he says if old enough to count, old enough to mount. Hassan said that like 6 years after my Reddit account was inactive.
Yeah, and if he said that, I think that's pretty fucked up.
So I expect a.
This is so great. I love this part.
Should I expect a video about how he's a pedophile?
But much like your
I wish that Gila wouldn't have jumped in right there because I wanted to hear her response to that, and Gila's given her an out by commenting.
the drug thing, like you have a personal experience with a drug addict, you know how serious that stuff is. I don't know why would you want to participate in like wrongfully accusing somebody based on nothing of being a drug addict. Same thing with this. As a victim, why would you want to throw around accusations and make all victims not count? You know how many douchebags there are out there that don't believe victims, right? And they like to say that the victims are lying. Why would you participate in that? Because what you're doing right now is throwing an accusation based on nothing, and you're making everybody else look like a fool.
By the way, I feel like I've sacrificed a lot to stand up for victims on the show, too.
And we personally lost friends
I think that's
in this
why a lot of-
industry that accusations came up against them, and, you know, we're no longer friends with them.
I think that's why a lot of people...
Damn it, Gila. I wanted so badly for her to respond to the, are we going to get a 3-hour response to Hassan being a pedo?
Felt a little bit disappointed, you know? Like,
By
you
my
can't say that there
15-year-old
weren't
Reddit
people-
account with troll in the title.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
I
think
just
so.
want to make clear that that's what we're talking about, not something more
I mean,
recent.
other clips as well.
Do you remember what you were doing 15 years ago?
I was 10 years old.
You were how old?
I was 10 years old, 11 years old.
Oh, well.
She's 25. That explains a lot. She's a youngin. You know, she's definitely. They always say when you're young, you believe in communism. When you get old, I forget the saying. It's some weird saying.
You were probably playing with kid toys. Pedophile? I'm just kidding. Sorry. that was deeply unprofessional. I apologize.
But yeah, no, I think, what was I going to say? I think, you know, there's other, you know, things that I can say as well that at least, you know, again.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
Do you
wanna
think
get into-
Hassan is a pedophile?
Yes, get back on that topic.
Now that I've told you.
She's thinking so hard here. I worked so hard to get Hassan's fan base. So I'm either going to lose Hassan's fan base with how I answer this, or I'm going to lose my current fan base that I've built over the years by not answering this and looking like I have no spine. You could look at, dude, that face. She is in such deep thought. The fact she has to even think about this.
I would have to see more clips and context. But
There
we can
you
show
go.
you the clips. They're very famous. I don't know.
Like he was like, oh no, we got him. We'll
I can
show you.
it. Yeah, hold on one sec. I'll show you.
She's like, fuck.
One sec here. Give me a moment. Here.
Self out. Come back again
Now,
next week.
just as a reminder, this is about 6 years after my Reddit account was expired, right?
And
He
After
looks
it was
like such a
inactive.
total
And
frat
Miley
bro.
was around 18 years old.
Well, but Hannah Montana was a girl.
Sure, yeah.
A little girl.
And worse, yeah.
So he said he uses the character name. Anyway, here it is.
We discussed the legendary question of all time: old enough to count, old enough to mount? Question mark. I want to say thank you to Miley Cyrus for showing off her camel toe at the VMAs the other night. I always knew Hannah Montana was a little slut. Don't even try to hide it. Look, this is a class.
I mean, is this a pedophile trying to grow?
Dude, he sounds like such a MAGA guy right here. It doesn't surprise me she's friends with Savannah. I know they both have the same type of approach to how they do these videos.
From people?
I think in general, I mean, I don't fuck with the camel toe jokes. I don't think that's cool.
What about the?
That's where she. Oh my god, dude, she's being so disingenuous here. He's talking about Hannah Montana being like old enough to count, old enough to mount, And she's like, well, you know, that camel toe joke just did not hit for me. He's like, no, dude, that's not, we're not asking about your opinion on the camel toe joke. We're asking about your opinion about the first thing he said in that video clip.
Pedophile jokes.
Yeah, I mean, how old was she at the
Well,
time?
Hannah Montana. I mean,
how old would she have been in the show?
How old was Hannah? She was like 14 in the show.
And the joke is old enough to mount, old enough to count.
Old enough to count, old enough to mount.
Other way.
Or no,
Yeah,
he said he always knew she was a little slut.
Yeah.
About a 14-year-old.
Yeah.
You said jokes aren't just jokes.
Dude, see, this is, she's exposing herself so badly right here. This should be a no-brainer. Yeah, that's disgusting. I can't believe he'd say that. But she knows if she says that, all of a sudden, she's going to get reamed out by his audience. And she doesn't want to do that. This is because she is trying to get in with that crew. She's trying to get in with that group of people. Jesus, and this is the guy all over these, this is the guy all these people falling over. I know, it's nuts, dude. It's real, like, once people wake up, well, I don't even know. Because I think they're so captured by him that they will never... Like, the guy is literally shocking his dog. That's what it took for some of them to finally realize he's kind of a scumbag. And I applaud the people that were in Hassan's chat that were being like, don't do that to the dog, dude. That's messed up. But they still went back and watched him, though. He's still, like, super popular. He's still the Joe Rogan of the left.
Right? So, I mean, Hassan is a grooming pedophile.
Again, that's not cool at all. Again, my main...
That's not cool at all. But you're fine with painting Ethan and Gila as a pedophile because of their fashion choices. But Hassan flat out says, old enough to count, old enough to mount. And you're like, that's not cool, man. That's not cool. But I'm not ready to call him a pedo. Like, what is it going to take? This is... So anytime she tells you she's unbiased, she's fucking full of shit, dude. She is so full of shit. Such bullcrap. She's claiming grooming had jokes made to her, but this joke has to be thought. Yeah, that's it. It's the cult. You're right. Cult mentality, E-Shift, and she is in that cult.
I don't think he's a pedophile, for the record.
Mm-hmm.
I think those
Again,
were
my main
uncouth
criticism
jokes
of you
made
was the
a while ago.
propensity of jokes that were used. You know, again, my personal experience is that a lot of the people where that would end up, you know, sexually assaulting me when I was underage would, you know, continually push those jokes onto me again and again and again and again. And
so one, she's giving him an out because he only said it once. But if he said it a couple times, then all of a sudden, you know, it would matter to her. So just be clear what she's saying here. Well, if he said it again, I might think about it.
And I would write it off, you know, because I think my trauma response is fawn. And so I would continue to write it off and be like, oh, you know, they're just joking. That's all. You know, I guess I wanted to ask, you know, why did you use those jokes? You know,
15 years
I can
ago,
understand.
15 years ago when I had that Reddit account, I have no trouble admitting that I was extremely slow at maturing. Very immature, very dumb, very cringe, right? At the time, pedophile jokes were super popular on the internet for some reason. There was like the pedo bear joke, and just in general, people thought it was funny for some reason then. And at the time, these Reddit accounts, there was like these really popular novelty accounts, they would call them, with like a specific name that instructs their comments. So for example, I would write some obscene comment, right? And then you would go, if you go even now in the archive, you'll see people being like, oh, I see your name, very funny. Like comments that I made have like, you know, they have like 60 upvotes and people laughing in the comments. So while I agree that those jokes were gross and immature and inappropriate for any time, you know,
all right, Newman.
Jokes that, by the way, I don't make today, right?
Because he has kids. He didn't have kids. He didn't have kids 15 years ago, and I think Madison needs to take that into account. When you have a kid, it definitely changes the way you view that stuff. Because when you have a kid, all of a sudden, pedos, even though pedos were gross to you all before you had a kid, now anytime you see a pedo, you're thinking about them messing with your kid, and that makes you angry.
They are really gross and immature. But I also think, like, if you look at it, that it's clear that it's so clear that I'm kidding around and not actually being serious there. And frankly, if you look at that account, like 90% of it is me talking about StarCraft.
Okay.
Okay.
But you know what a troll is someone who's insincere. It's someone who's trying to provoke you to a reaction through being insincere.
I honestly thought that trolls, to be honest, were like a thing of many years ago until the bad empanada incident.
Yeah, you had an unfortunate run-in with one of the greatest cave trolls there is.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So yeah, I didn't think that was.
Yeah, but I mean, like, just generally speaking, a troll is.
She thought trolls didn't exist anymore. Good God. She does. Where did they? Oh my God, dude, Madison. What are we? You cannot be this hopeless, girl. You cannot be this hopeless.
Someone who's insincere, right, and just looking to get a rise out of you by saying whatever. So I mean, that would imply, even in the name, a pedo troll would be someone who's using pedophilia to troll people into getting upset while by being insincere. Like that's the meaning of the name. If the name was like Ethan Klein and just like, hey guys, this is me, Ethan Klein, like, you know, it's made with the clear intention of playing a character, a troll character. Right, that's in the name.
I mean, yeah.
I don't stand by those comments though, and people are totally justified to point it out and say it's gross and cringe and stuff. But I don't think that it's fair to say it implies anything other than that, unless you're willing to go on record and say Hassan Piker is a pedophile groomer.
Yeah, then we're in business.
Which I don't believe he is, for the record.
Sorry. Also, I just keep staring at like this stain on my couch, and it's bugging.
Come on, Madison, that's the best you got. She was like, I need to get out of this situation. I need to get out of it fast. What do I got around me? Crap, the stain on the couch. Damn it. Okay, let me try to use that. Let's see how that works.
Me so much.
What, the white one?
I'm like, I didn't really. The empty one. There's like a tiny stain there that's bugging me.
I love your chair, by the way. It's a beautiful green color.
Thank you.
And the throw blanket behind you is beautiful too.
Thanks. Just didn't really catch that.
I didn't.
Undead Harley Quinn, it's so obvious that she just doesn't like them and will say any BS to condemn them and argue every little irrelevant point, but will have double standards for anyone in Hassan's cult. You're absolutely right. Well said. I mean, you pretty much summed it up right there. She's just biased as hell, and even though she claims she's unbiased, it's very evident that if she's able to connect pedophilia to Ethan and Gila through their fashion sense, but won't do it for Hassan when he flat out says it, then yeah, it's pretty obvious what's happening here.
Notice, but now I do. Everybody look at her stain.
Look at that stain.
I can't get it out of my head now.
Let's see here. There's all kinds of other stuff.
I don't think that people are going to care about that stain, Madison.
Teddy is the nickname they have for each other. Following the launch.
Oh, sorry. We already looked at this one. My apologies. The Fupa Fun one was the kind of one that I hadn't heard.
This is also kind of alarming. Out of all this, she's worried about how people are going to judge her for the stain on the couch behind her and not for the fact that she's lying out her ass about Ethan to try to, you know, cuddle up to Hassan.
Heard in a while.
Helpful. So I was looking into whether the Fupa Fund was still in existence.
Let me go back a little bit.
I've had very helpful friends that have given me advice, but to have something like the Fupa Fund where you could go to and have assistance if you're a small creator, scared and have no idea what to do would be extremely helpful. So I was looking into whether the Fupa Fund was still in existence.
Oh God, the
but
Fupa
the Fupa
Fund.
Fund dissolved and is no longer in use. A big reason for the Fupa Fund's dissolution.
The Fupa Fund would never work today. Every other day, someone would be hitting up Ethan being like, yo, I need to hit that Fupa Fund.
Is that the Kleins use the Fupa Fund for their own legal fees, as well as several $1,000s out of pocket to fight the legal battle against Matt Haas. While it is often the case that legal fees can add up and become more than you'd ever initially expect, well, the fact that the Kleins closed the Fupa Fund after spending the money on their own legal fees, instead of keeping it open, maybe replenishing the fund once they're able to, so that other creators could have used it, well, that's a little disappointing. This move received criticism from many, like Keemstar, who suggested...
a convenience. She's able to invoke Keemstar, guys. Keemstar, the bastion of credibility, Mr. Keemstar there. Keemstar was the one who criticized him. Y'all should be on my side now. Keemstar did it.
That the Kleins scammed their audience.
By the way, you know, even Keemstar doesn't believe this now. Like, this is such an ancient accusation. Like, even Keemstar's walked off it. Like, no, it's been like fully debunked.
Into an enemy of Ethan Klein. In the end,
so I guess what's disappointing about the
fondue fund?
So first of all, you know that the money was raised by Phil DeFranco for the express purpose, one singular purpose, right, of paying our legal fees. You know that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, you can see from, sorry, I'm pointing because this is where my research is, but you can see from the research that I got it from your wiki page, right?
Well,
like,
I don't care where you got it. I'll tell you. I'll tell you what's you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just because there's a lot of oh, it's all from Snark or whatnot. But I was grabbing that from your wiki page. I do agree. Again, like I said, I should find 2 or 3 sources. Again,
Well,
that's sort of my principal rule now.
What's disappointing about what happened?
Yeah, so from the clips that I had seen from your YouTube page and everything, it seemed like it was kind of sold as this sort of promise to not promise. Again, I don't want to misspeak or anything. I'm trying
The
to.
stain is right here, Rajira. It honestly looks like a cum stain, if I'm being honest. That must be the blowjob chair for her husband. I'm just pointing it out, There's evidence.
I don't know.
It's okay. I'm with you. Yeah.
But a way to advocate for creators. I think again, like I had sort of said, when I first started, I got this random cease and desist from Russell Hartley, talking about his how to pick up women courses, and then I got spammed with like 13 copyright claims.
That stain does not turn me on,
a creator,
Carla.
and just different things like that. And when that happens too, when you get spammed with like 13 not copyright claims, sorry.
DMCA's.
Claims, not strikes. Sorry, I was
Okay,
making sure
claims.
because
Gotcha.
sometimes you get those mixed up in your head, but I want to make sure
claims.
it's not strike claims.
Yeah.
But yeah, so and when that happens, essentially it was like, okay, either I try and dispute all of these, and sometimes.
Okay, what does these claims have anything to do with the Fupa Fund? How did we get here? You said you're disappointed the Fupa Fund got disintegrated or whatever. Now we're talking about content claims, which every single creator deals with. Am I supposed to fight those? Am I supposed to hit up the Fupa Fund for that?
They can just say, fuck you, and, wait months until, the very last day that they have to, let those go and release them. And then that's, months without you receiving any revenue on the video. Yeah, obviously, this is my job.
It would have been great to have help with that, but why would, because I got sued by some maniac, why would that obligate me to pay for every other creator's legal fees?
Again, you don't have to be the end all be all. Again, you guys kind of put yourselves as the forefront. You know
why we did?
Because of the Matt Haas situation.
But we raised. We raised.
Effed in the A about.
Do you understand the sequence of events? How everything happened?
I mean, he took down your video, right?
Yeah.
And
So Philip, at first I said I don't want to ask you guys for money. This is my problem. Did you see that clip?
That's
why Philip DeFranco made the GoFundMe and not me.
Philip
DeFranco made it. Raised 170,000. We got 150 after
a day.
Taxes or no, not taxes.
The cuts.
After the platform took their cut, so we had 150,000, and we had some really shitty lawyers at the time who made us feel like that was like $1 billion, and a lawsuit would only cost a fraction of that, and we'd have all this leftover money, and so we decided like, oh God, that sounds amazing. So with all this leftover money, we're going to use it to help as many people as we can. Interestingly, we did actually still spend a fair bit of that money helping people during the process of.
That's great.
Yes.
But you just said you were disappointed a minute ago.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
But essentially, we were under the impression that
Call me a
money
pedophile, celebrate my
would last much further than it was. And you've seen when we show the first bill for like $50,000 that we had kind of like a rude awakening, like, oh shit, this is not the kind of money we thought it is.
We also, in the middle of all of it, went through a very stressful change of lawyers because the first lawyers who told us to take the case on and made it seem like it would be an easy win, then decided to advise us to settle.
Yeah, they were.
And we were like, no, everybody already donated, that we need to fight this all the way.
This is, by the way, Ryan Morrison, video game attorney.
And so the whole thing was very stressful, and but we pushed through the whole way through because the whole idea was to win this, so it would create a precedent.
Yeah.
For other people.
Which, by the way, it is very clear that them winning that is what shaped YouTube for what it is today. People cannot underestimate just how important that case was to people like me and everybody who's a content creator today, being able to sit here and react to things. If they lost that, I would not be able to do this. You would not get reaction content anymore, which, that's not all I do, but it is definitely something that we enjoy doing on the channel,
people, for other creators.
Are you aware that
that is what happened in the end? I don't know if you.
Are you aware that the win is the single most impactful precedent in favor of critiquing commentary videos on YouTube? And it's actually published.
I think who that's mean. But yeah, I think sorry, I'm looking at the stain now even more. But yeah, no, I want to say
they circled the stain.
I'm not sure. Again, I'm not sure how much I dove into the judges' sentiments in the video itself. And again, this is sort of a problem as well when it comes to my commentary, that I want to,
That's great.
Again, focus down on myself, working on my content, and work on this. Because
Yeah, it's her content, but she's got like 19 people that do all the work for her. She sits down and reads off a script that's probably written for her into a microphone, and now it's her content. Like this is your team's content, not your content.
Because essentially sometimes I felt like I would go into these rabbit holes and no one cares about this. I'm just rambling on about, the judge's statements and,
True, but
hearing also from, from people who this is directly
they would need
affected,
a lot of red circles.
Like you said, like this is your life. It's like, okay, I don't want to, I think it'd be better to go into as many details as possible at the expense of, boring a few people, especially if it interests me, then, essentially cutting things down and being like, this is irrelevant. It doesn't matter. Long paragraph reading off statements from a judge doesn't matter. So yeah, but in the research itself, I have statements from the judge and everything.
But I guess my point is that in terms of like the best that $150,000 can do, there's probably not a better use for that money than what we ended up achieving through
but also
defending
that
ourselves.
is that is what the money was donated for. It was not donated so that we would help other people. That was just us thinking we had so much money we could do.
It was a very much
being
no good.
overambitious.
It was a very much
out,
no good deed
random-
goes unpunished type of thing, right?
It did come from a good place of thinking, okay, we can do more than just fight our case. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case.
Yeah, had they never tried to even consider helping people, they would have never been put in a situation. It was just out of pure kindness. They thought they could help other people that they ended up getting shitted on for. They should have if they would have just not mentioned this at all, nobody would ever say anything about this stupid Fupa Fund. Now they won't let me unsee it. Yeah, now the stain will endure. I'm not even a creator and know that this lawsuit was massive for the creator world. It's crazy how little she knows about her own topics. Dude, it's honestly alarming because she almost got over 500,000 subscribers, and she doesn't know things that most people in the commentary community or just basic, even people who don't make content know about. But she somehow managed to build a reputation on being a good researcher. And it makes me wonder how many of her previous videos are this bad. Like, if you go through them, are we going to find that this is the case for every single video she's ever made? Are they all this bad? Taylor did her research. I would not be shocked if Taylor Lorenz did the research for this video and wrote it for her. That would not shock me at all, which is probably why Taylor was like, that video was so good. Whoever wrote that was so good. It's all coming together now.
The case. However, I just don't understand, where is your problem with this Fupa scenario?
Yeah, no, I mean, again, my question, it's disappointing in terms of like, is there a resource like that for new creators?
I'm sorry, but I feel like that's a little bit
it's not like it's your job, but
like car crashes are disappointing. Like anything that happens is disappointing. Like I'm not sure what you mean it's disappointing.
I feel that framing you just did there is a little dishonest. It feels like the obvious implication is that you're disappointed that I didn't replenish the Fupa.
It creates some kind of like an atmosphere that something was done wrong there. Like we either used money wrongfully or something. Like for the viewer of your video, they would be left wondering, okay, so the client did.
Right. Actually, and maybe I'm wrong.
That's exactly what she hinted at. That they were greedy and they were selfish with that money, which could not be further from the truth.
Cease and desist in the mail from Russell Hartley that I had no idea that were extremely called Fupa Fund, where you could go to and have assistance if you're a small creator, scared and have no idea what to do, would be extremely helpful. So I was looking into whether the Fupa Fund was still in existence. But the Fupa Fund dissolved and is no longer in use. A big reason for the Fupa Fund's dissolution is that the clients use the Fupa Fund for their own legal fees, as well as several.
Keep your mouth shut for a second.
One of the main reasons, it's like that is the it's not one of the main reasons. It's the reason why the money's not there.
Okay.
And also, which I think gets buried a little bit in your explanation.
Daniel's crew, they weren't rich when this happened. So yes, they are very rich now, and they would not need a GoFundMe for lawsuits. But back when this happened, they weren't as rich as they are now. Like, you didn't make the kind of money on YouTube that you can make today. They were probably richer than me, that's for damn sure, but they were not nearly as rich as they were now. So while it seems like, yeah, you could easily sit here and point at them now and say, how dare they? They're so rich. They don't need that money from you guys. Back then in 2016, they were not nearly as big as they are now. I mean, we're talking about like 9 years ago, which is a lifetime on YouTube. If in 9 years I haven't grown at all, I will never succeed on YouTube, and that's just the reality of the situation.
Nation is the reason the money was raised in the first place.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, again, the way that, you know, I feel like there's a million, to be honest, sometimes I feel like there's a million ways to interpret how someone says a sentence. So also I feel like, you know, I can, you know, moving forward, I'm going to be cautious. I've said all the ways that I'm going to try to, you know, take this in and do better. But
she's basically like, please don't stop watching my content. I'm going to try so much harder now, guys. I know that I came into this very disingenuous and a big friggin' fat liar, but I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to be honest, which you should have been doing from the very beginning. So she's basically saying that up until this point, she's had no problem lying and not giving a shit about whatever it is that she's putting in her videos. That is what I'm hearing, is that from now on, I'm actually going to care. Before, I did not care, but now I do. Now it's different. Now that I've gotten called out for it and I realize the errors of my ways, I'm going to start telling the truth. But before, it's basically making every video she's done up to this point seem like a big fat lie about every creator that she's ever made a video on. I heard EG doesn't want to succeed on YouTube. That's true. I'm just here for the camera. I just like being on camera. I don't need to be successful. I could be here with myself and I'll be fine.
Also, you know, I can say something and someone can
I know you're not familiar with these guys.
At the same time. So, you know, I'm.
You think that's what I'm doing?
I don't think that's necessarily what you're doing here, but maybe a little bit. I mean, again,
let me hear this last part.
Taking dollars out of pocket to fight the legal battle against Matt Haas. While it is often the case that legal fees can add up and become more than you'd ever initially expect, well, the fact that the clients closed the FUPA fund after spending the money on their own legal fees.
I will be honest, I don't think we're going to get through all this. We'll go to 11 Eastern time, and then we'll probably have to finish the rest of this either tomorrow or Friday at some point.
Instead of keeping it.
But everybody who's in here right now, I hope you'll come back and watch the rest of this with us, because this is interesting stuff. I've been getting really into like all the stuff that's going on with Ethan and Hassan and all them guys, and I plan to do a lot more of it.
Open, maybe replenishing the fund once they're able to, so that other creators could have used it. Well, that's a little disappointing.
So, I mean, you're directly speaking to the fact that I used the money on my lawsuit and not helping other people as disappointing, and you even say that I didn't replenish, that I don't invest my own money.
If I could speak to how I meant to say it, you know, so I went to, you know, I was speaking to, as a creator, these were my experiences getting started.
Probably,
you know, I was excited to hear about the FUPA fund, because that sounds like a great resource for creators who are getting into, you know, content creation. Then, you know, looking into your wiki, you know, what it says there. It says that literally, it says all of that information practically verbatim.
The information's correct. It's the extrapolation that I felt was malicious.
Yeah, and so basically the way that I was attempting to say it is I felt disappointed because creators couldn't have a resource like that. Again, because
that's not how it came off at all, though. She made it sound like she's very disappointed that they didn't just start shelling out their own money to pay for all creators who have fair use problems. That's what it sounded like. I mean, think about where she's coming from. Think about the circles that she runs in, right? She cares about Hassan Piker. She cares about rich people. Again, first off, I just want to be very clear. Madison makes a lot of money from YouTube, okay? She is not poor by any stretch of the imagination. So I don't, like, if she got sued, she'd probably be able to pay for a lawyer, because she's been able to have a whole team of people around her help make her content. Someone who does that is not like a poor person online. So I don't know why she's pointing like these fingers. Maybe she's upset that she's the same thing with Savannah. Savannah gets very, very jealous of people who are successful online. That's why she hates Mr. Beast. People who are successful and make a lot of money, that pisses people like them off, because that's what they want. They think they should have that because their content's just as good, if not better. And she got the crazy eyes right here, as you can see. Is that supposed to look like a deli counter in the background? I don't know. I'm not sure.
Is there a resource like that for people that are starting out?
By the way, I'm not associated with this website, just to be clear.
It's a radio station.
Yeah. Again, but like it's not a snark, you know. I'll
I don't think
sometimes
it is.
go
I
onto
actually
those.
don't know though. The Fair Use Protection Act, also known as FUPA Fund, was an escrow account created by Klein in 2016. The fund is dissolved and no longer used. The goal of the account was to help other fellow content creators fund fair use legal lawsuits taken up against them. The account was placed in the trust of the law firm Morrison Lee. Users were directed to contact the @FUPA for Freedom page for help. The FUPA Fund was created after Ethan Miller received donations, $170,000, to help them fund their lawsuit against Matt Haas, and a GoFundMe page set up by Phil DeFranco.
Yeah.
So I mean, the way that it's described here is just a factual accounting of things, right? So like you referencing this is fine. It's again it's the extra interpretation you added, which I felt was malicious, right?
I mean, that's fair. Again, I just explained to you what my intention was with that. Is like.
So do you think that
again,
your intention was just that you're sad that something like that doesn't exist today?
Yeah, for other creators, you know, like again, I remember feeling very.
Then she should have elaborated on that and not made it sound like it was Ethan and Gila's idea or their fault that it doesn't exist anymore.
Lost. Oh my, like, again, sorry, there's a little thing on pair. I know that like now to essentially throw cease and desist letters away, you know, if I get them. But I remember that first, you know, especially anti-MLM creators will receive a lot of cease and desist letters from these random MLM companies, you know, trying to get them to stop making content about their, you know, about their various companies and, you know.
This is a video I made 9 years ago, by the way. I think it's probably one of the most viewed videos on the topic. How to dispute a strike, DMCA process explained. It's on my main channel. So I mean,
and those resources are great. I just meant like, you know, having those again, like, is there a legal resource like that for creators? You know,
okay, fair. So you didn't mean to imply that. So I just want to ask again for the record. You do not think that there was any financial impropriety with the FUPA thing?
I don't think so. I mean, I'm
right.
How the
well, that's not how she sold it in her video, and anybody with 2 brain cells can put together what she was trying to hint at there. Undead Harley Quinn says she seems so clueless about the points she's even trying to make. It makes you wonder how involved she was in making the video at all. And you are right, because I think that what I imagine happened was she said, hey, I want to do a video on H3H3. Let's go to H3 Snark. Let's gather all this stuff right now. It's a hot topic. Everybody's talking about it, right? So I have to be a mom. So I need someone to write me a script. Now, I'm the star of this show, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to read it. You guys go gather all the information, and once I've finished recording all the stuff that's gotten written for me, because I guarantee she ain't writing this shit, and then she's going to go, and then she's going to send it off to an editor, and then the editor, she's going to pay the editor to make the video for her, and then we're going to upload it. And then she just put it in the hands of her team to go and collect all the research, do all like the stuff here, so which I'm assuming there's some H3 snarkers in there, right? And that's where a lot of this information came from, because that's why they were referencing it. But they sold it to her as though this was Reddit, and then she went and watched it. I don't know. Okay, this is what I'd be more interested in. How did she approve the video? Did she watch through it and then give her stamp of approval, or did she have a direct input in how to make the story better or something like that? How and why is it Ethan and Gila's responsibility to create and provide? Well, it's because they mentioned that they wanted to, and then now it's their responsibility. See, you don't dangle. It's like me being like, I got $20. I'd really love to give it away to somebody, and everybody starts fighting over. Go, well, if everybody's gonna fight over it, I'm probably just gonna keep it for myself. And like, you selfish bastard! How dare you keep the $20 that was yours in the first place? Because we all want it, right? That's basically it. Yeah, he's got Tourette's, so those tics that he does, the more amped up he gets, the more you notice the tics, because he's got Tourette's, and when Tourette's people get animated or like very like worked up, the tics start coming out like more and more.
The fuck would I know?
Right.
Okay.
Even though it's okay, fair enough. So no, I mean no. Okay. Great. We can move on to the next part there.
All right, good. Because I was about to skip out of the FUPA part.
Oh God, the Goku Naro thing was pretty wild too. I don't even know how.
Ultimately,
this
when
video
you look at the way
so
that Trisha
old.
was used on the H3 podcast, it seems like she was often used as a way to stoke her flames for views.
Oh, this is the
and
5% thing, not the Goku Naro.
This is something that Ethan has done in the past to other content creators that he's seen as easily provoked for engagement. Ethan Klein used to associate with the creator JonTron, who was exposed for some incredibly horrible, like blatantly bad takes that had him virtually canceled. Yet after the fact, Ethan invited him onto the H3 podcast to have a discussion.
So after 8.5 months, now you give...
This is a child. Hold on. This is a child in a disheveled room with an unmade bed and school books on the counter and 3 unstraightened photos.
By the way, like, I think Ethan and Gokunar are like fine now. So the fact that she's going back to the old Gokunar days, respect to Gokunar. But yeah, I mean, you're basically just using Gokunar's work against Ethan again after all this time, dude. It's so bad, dude. She's like, I've never done H3H3. Let's do everything that's ever happened with him.
Photos of South Park characters. Do you think this is a reputable source?
I think that someone can offer valid online commentary, and their room doesn't necessarily, dictate their level of online commentary.
True.
I really hope, I look at this stain right here.
The stain, right? The stain. Well,
it's we all have our flaws.
You make a good point.
We got the stain for the stain.
That's fair. Can't judge a book by a cover.
But at the same time, as I sort of explained to you, again,
he was defending JonTron, by the way.
I love that they keep circling the stain
in this video.
Yeah, so that's the thing. I'm navigating this a little bit as far as it goes, where other people have added research into this project, and then I essentially, I'm sort of. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out the proper way to,
I'm trying not to dig a hole for myself any more than I already have.
About this. But yeah, so essentially, someone had sent me an entire section on Gokunaru.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I saw that section and I thought that it didn't have much validity. I was not gonna, talk about it. Just because.
Even though Gokunaru's video is probably one of the better videos done on H3 compared to a lot of stuff that's put out now, but it's just over time a lot of those points don't matter anymore because Ethan's a lot different than how he was then.
You're talking about the part you included or a different part?
A different part, entirely, in a whole section, kind of, labeled Gokunaru. I was just kind of like, I don't, again, in the larger context, because essentially, I'm taking, broad view, approach is my goal here, and I'm trying.
Don't believe that for a second.
To figure out what's the most important thing to include, and also what's the most valid, again, which is what we're sort of debating here, very kindly and politely, and I appreciate that. But so yeah, that's sort of, that was a section that I felt like was not very valid.
I'm sorry, are we talking about the part about JonTron? Because that's the part I'm interested in. I don't care about what you didn't
so essentially, yeah, so
he's like, I don't care what you didn't put in the video. Like, that's not what I'm worried about, what you did put in the video.
From that, I was like, okay, I don't, but the things that did, that I thought were interesting is when I was reading through that, essentially, as I was going through the frenemies section, I care a lot about content creator ethics. That's why I'm right here, looking at how can I be a more ethical content creator? What can I take in from this? Learn and do.
Well, how about first start off by making sure that whatever you say is right. I would suggest that be a spot that you start at, Madison, and then you kind of go from there. That's typically where most content creators begin on day one. Is go, all right, is what I'm saying real? Or is it total bullshit? Because if it's total bullshit, you got yourself a buttload of problems. However, you've been a creator now for probably 5-6 years, and you're just learning now after one of the worst exposés on H3H3 ever done, that you should probably check your sources. That's like day one shit. I've been a content creator for like 2 years now. Just past 2 years. I new to streaming, but my videos are up on the channel if you guys check them out. But from day one, I've done exposés on other creators. Not one thing in that video do I have any doubt is wrong. Everything I've ever put in any video of mine and my name on it, I know for a fact that it is correct because I wouldn't have said it if I didn't check it. and it should just be good practice.
Do better. One thing that, I thought may be a criticism,
Don't jump off a roof.
of the podcast was essentially, stoking people's flames for content.
She's gonna make you do
that was
it.
my fear or concern. And from the Gokunaru section, there were certain examples that I thought might fit into an explanation. So I kind of...
The next sentence coming out of her mouth could be, essentially, that essentially Gokunaru, essentially...
of, when we're talking about the frenemies situation, about how, essentially Trisha had created, a sit-down video where she was talking about
how... No, we don't know.
I'd have to go through and look at the actual
I know it's
research section. I don't want to misquote this or anything.
She's terrified, and that's why she's saying so much. And I don't want to be... And she's clearly not used to live streaming, because I used to do the same thing when I first started. But, I mean, come on. Why would you agree to go on here if you've never done anything remotely involved in live streaming? This is like career, unaliving, right, happening before our eyes right now.
But she had said something about how she felt like you were baiting her or something like that, for when she would walk off in a Frenemies episode. I kind of remembered those sections, where in the Gokunaru video, they discussed, how...
Yeah, can you imagine if, like, one of her videos that she did actually sounded like this? Nobody would watch it. If she was like, and, Ethan Klein, Gokunaru, made a video, about the Fupa Fund, and, it's crazy. It's nuts how exposed a lot of these creators get the second they go live, because then they can't edit their way through making themselves sound intelligent. And she is clearly not as bright as she's presented herself in the videos that she's made before this, and she's getting exposed step by step by step, and Ethan knows that, and Ethan is just letting her dig her own grave, basically. Same thing with Savannah. This is why Savannah never debated me when I called her out and said, I'd love to talk to you about your video on Scammer Payback. She wanted nothing. She knew it would have went the exact same way this did.
JonTron, which again, blatantly bad takes. I don't fucking agree with, JonTron.
That's why it's so strange to me that you're accusing me of being too harsh of an interviewer.
No, so essentially my take was, my concern again was that, you would, 8 months after the controversy happened, brought him back on to sort of have a conversation where it almost seems like he thinks, and again, let me know, this is your content, let me know if I'm incorrect here, but he sort of seems like he thinks this is going to be like a redefining career moment for him, where his buddy's going to talk to him and he's going to have a comeback, and then you're wanting to sort of talk about the situation, talk about the incident, you're wanting to continue sort of having that discussion.
Do you think I should let him off the hook?
No, it seemed kind of like, again, maybe...
I should have gone... So your point is that...
Yeah, good point, Rutier. She's not doing anything to shorten the interview. You know why? Because this is probably the biggest opportunity she's had as a content creator, getting to sit down and talk with Ethan. She's not stupid when it comes to knowing how to sell her channel. And she knows that for every second she's on this show, more and more people are learning about Cruel World Happy Mind. And she wants that attention. She loves that attention. I just don't think that she cares at this point whether or not she looks good or looks absolutely terrible. And unfortunately for her, the people who are going to find out about Cruel World Happy Mind aren't going to have the highest opinion of it.
I should have let him off the hook.
No,
what's the criticism exactly? You can be more...
My criticism is, did he need to be on the podcast at all, and was it for content or was it for, to actually sit him down and talk about it? Because he didn't want to talk about it. He kept avoiding it, and it just led to kind of...
I should have let him avoid it, right?
You think
you should not talk to him?
You think he did it against his will? The podcast?
The criticism from Gokunaru is that I was too mean to him.
Yeah, again, that's not my criticism.
Right, but you used that clip. Let me watch it. Sorry, I don't remember what it says exactly.
JonTron, a platform to defend himself?
It happened. How long ago was that now?
I don't keep track. 9 months or something.
Ethan continued to say things that seemed intentional to sort of garner a reaction within JonTron.
I don't really want to get into this. It's a minefield of sorts. I'm not going to go back and nitpick everything I said and say and qualify it or anything. The main question on everyone's mind is, is he a racist? Is he a see? No.
Do you feel like you said some things that you regret?
Yeah, I don't like reliving it.
Did you have a lot of self-aware moments during that?
Of course, the whole time.
Jimmy Lee was a former dentist.
It just doesn't even seem that bad at all, even when you try to make it look bad.
Yeah, it's fair.
Yeah, I mean, again, my sort of question is, this was months, or what was it, 8, 9 months after the, controversy happened, where he had said some, pretty fucked up things. I understand, but no, I don't really understand wanting to sit down and have an interview with him. I guess.
That's because you don't understand social interaction, Madison. I can't understand what made you think it was a good idea to come on here and debate Ethan, but here you are. Because this is not... I would honestly say that JonTron's interview with Ethan is going way better than your interview with Ethan's going right now. If I'm being... if we're going to be, very clear about that. JonTron's back and forth with Ethan went 10 times better than how you're doing right now. But I guess, do you, girl? E.g., this is really bad. The more she talks, the more stupid she becomes. It's... Yeah. I mean, I know she's nervous, but it is very alarming at just how lacking she is with social cues or knowledge just in general, and not understanding the problem that she's causing with what she's doing. And she could say all the live long day, well, yeah, I just won't do that in the future. You should have never gotten to this point in the first place, though. That's the point.
What's your perspective on that?
So that criticism rings hollow to me, because I feel like that's not at all what you're saying in your video. Your criticism was, look at Ethan, he's having a racist dude on his podcast to try to clear his name. It's the opposite.
No, it was again.
Kunara's point was the opposite, and your point in the video was the opposite of that too.
No, my point was you were trying to essentially create content out of this controversy, in the harshest way possible.
Says the girl who just made a 3-hour-long video using nothing but sources from the H3 Snark Reddit. Oh my god, dude, this is hurting my brain. I feel like I'm getting dumber every time I keep going with this. This is... I knew Madison was probably a little ditzy. I had no idea it was on this level, though. I had no clue it was this bad. This may be one of the worst defenses of a video that I've ever seen. Ever. She hasn't once made a single solitary point that backs up anything that she said in that video or any claim that she's made against Ethan. She hasn't been able to prove one thing that she said is correct. Unless it's correct in that, it's a bullet point correction and that's the way the events went. But then she adds her own tone to it that makes it look like it was worse than it actually was. This is bad, dude. This is really, really, really bad.
I'll tell you what actually happened, because I have talked about this publicly. It is available on the podcast, but what happened is JonTron at the time...
Oh, she's definitely flirting. She's definitely flirting with Ethan, too, to try to... And which is probably why Gila's, taking no shit. She's like, you ain't gonna flirt with him out of this. And Ethan's not falling for it either, which is good for him. But I do feel like this girl is probably used to being able to, bat her eyes, couple smiles here and there. Let's talk about the stain on the couch, and you just let me go because I'm a cute, pretty girl, and you don't want to be mad at me, right? I got these big old knockers on the front of me. Is she really young? Maybe that's why she talks. She is 25, so she's pretty young, but not young enough that she's completely... at 25, I probably would have been I definitely wouldn't have been as forward as I could be now, but I definitely would have been understanding what the hell I was talking to Ethan about. I wouldn't be this lost.
Was like my best friend. We were very close. And we kind of talked about it beforehand, come on the show, make an apology for what you said. I'm gonna have to rib you a little bit, right? Obviously I don't agree with what you said, so I have to criticize you from my perspective, and here's the questions I'm going to ask you, and here's what you should respond. I think the reason it ended up coming off awkwardly is because we talked about it beforehand, and then when the moment came up, he started closing down, be like, I don't want to talk about it, which kind of threw me off. I was an inexperienced interviewer at the time, and also we had a plan going into it, so I was like, I was kind of unsure what to do in the moment, but that's essentially what happened.
Yeah, again, I think he thought this was going to be his career redefining moment. You know, like, oh, I'm gonna, you know,
not so much career redefining, but we wanted to see him give a sincere apology and a sincere like taking back of what was said.
She played victim, and let me tell you my trauma history, so you're nice to me. Yep, absolutely. Yep, you nailed it.
I think he was thinking that at all. I don't think he was thinking that at all. I think.
When we planned things beforehand, we talked about what we were gonna do. It seemed like we were on the same page, but it was less on the same page than we thought once things were, you know, actually happening.
But the one thing actually that you did include from Gokunar's video, which is this compilation of me pressing John, is actually the one thing he retracted in his video about me, which I'll show you. It's actually even in the description of his video. I'm trying to find the link. Here it is.
But since her team was the ones who were behind this video, right? They're not going to go and read that. And if that is part of their retraction, they've made a living off of spreading like lies or you know, making the truth look different than what it actually is. So obviously they're not going to put this in the video because their hope is that they can convince people to hate Ethan based on whatever they tell them, because it's important to them that they just share the narrative, push the narrative out. Ian H was so nice to Snark can't say anything. Yeah, I mean, this is all Snark people doing Snark shit, you know, and I think that she has a lot of Snark people in her community because, you know, she's obviously made it very clear where her political views are, and that's the type of people she attracts, and then she wants to get more ingratiated. It's the same thing with iDubbbz. iDubbbz wants Hassan's audience, and you saw what happened with him, right? It's just Ethan is just racking up the W's right now. With trauma history, she had guys hit on her, and she has a bad stain. Well, the stain would probably cause some trauma. I will say that stain on that chair would cause me some serious trauma. Even though she was shown how bad and wrong her video is, it's still. I know. Well, now she's gonna keep it up because she's gonna be like, well, people will come and watch it because everybody's talking about it. Savannah, after her video got crucified, she turned off the comments and left the video up until it got forcibly taken down. They don't care. At the end of the day, what Madison wants is money. She's already explained how terrified she is of her videos getting demonetized. The only reason you care that much about your videos getting demonetized is because if you want that money. It doesn't matter what the truth is. The only thing that matters is how much income you're going to make from that video. And she ain't taking it down now because she damn sure don't want to lose out on whatever revenue people are going to want when they come over to watch it. I mean, that's a 3-hour video. That's a lot of watch time. YouTube's not going to care what the truth is in there. They're just going to see watch time and push more of our videos out. I'm not even a fan of Ethan and can see the W's as an outsider. Yeah, dude, he's just racking up W's. It's just he's on a winning streak. He's made iDubbbz look terrible. I mean, iDubbbz made iDubbbz look terrible too. He's made Hassan look terrible, which Hassan also does a very good job of doing that himself. Now he's making Cruel World Happy Mind look terrible. He's made Trisha Paytas look. I mean, Ethan knows his shit. He's a very, very intelligent guy, especially when it comes to this stuff. I think people take him for granted because of his tics and stuff and how sometimes he says some dumb shit. But at the end of the day, the man is, he knows what he's doing. Yeah, Healy wearing clouds and bears is the same as the dude that tried grooming her when she was. Yeah, that one made no sense to me. I don't understand how Teddy Fresh's fashion sense has anything to do with the guys trying to bang her when she was younger. It makes no fucking sense to me, dude.
So it's actually even in the description.
Maybe the dude did give her a teddy bear.
Thanks to Starkiller for pointing out the errors.
Above that.
The John segment was cut too liberally in hindsight. I encourage you to form your own opinion by watching the unedited conversation here. Did you watch the unedited conversation?
Again, this was from a re-uploaded video.
Yeah, Savannah. Hodge, she is actually good friends with Savannah. So it's funny that this is happening to Madison. And I used to say, thank God Madison's not as bad as Savannah, but it looks like that is not the case. They both are pretty bad at this. They just hate men. That's one thing. They hate men. They love communism. And they do not care about the truth. It's all about how they paint the narrative and just hope that people will believe them. Because at the end of the day, it's all about the almighty view.
But also, again, because I was like, oh, let me add this section in of something that I was going to delete entirely, I 100% agree with that thing of like, if I find a re-uploaded video or I find, you know, snippets online, sorry, my the sunset's setting, so my lighting's probably going crazy. I need to see as much as possible if I can find original sourcing as much as possible.
She's more worried
across
about,
the board, you know?
She is more worried about her lighting for her video than the words that are coming out of her mouth. That is a fundamental issue right here. If I'm in a deep debate with someone about something that's important to me or something that's affecting my credibility, the last thing I'm going to give a shit about is how my face looks in the light. That should explain a lot. She's cared more about the stain on the chair and like how she looks or tapping the mic than she's cared about what she says and what she's put in that video and what her name means. That should tell you everything. Oh, I'm sorry, Hodge Kim. I hope that you're hanging in there. If you need us in any way to just listen, we're happy to hear you. I hope that you get better. I know chemo is it's a motherfucker, dude, and you got my deep sympathy, but you just stay a warrior and do your best. That's all you can do. Felix says she's just in defense mode without anything to back it up. Yep. She could have found it all in H3 channel, all the VODs are... Yeah, well, she didn't want to do that because... Well, first off, she is not the one doing this. She's got people researching for her. So they go collect all the information, bring it back to her. She gives it to a writer. The writer writes the script. She sits down, reads the script in front of the camera, sends it off to an editor. So the only part she has in any of these videos is sitting down and basically reading. Like, I think she thinks of herself as like an anchor. Like a news anchor, right? I just read whatever's on the teleprompter, like Ron Burgundy. Fuck off, San Diego. She is there to look pretty, show off her boobs, and read the story. That's her job, and look pretty. She doesn't do the research. She doesn't write the script. I'd imagine, I can't prove she don't write the script, but I'm probably a sneaking suspicion that she's got someone who writes it for her. She's got a writer. We already know she's definitely got a researcher. We already know she definitely got an editor, right? Because when Ethan asked her about the editing choices, she had no clue why that guy did that, right? Because she doesn't edit the videos. So she just comes in, sits down, looks pretty, and then reads. And now she's supposed to sit here and try to defend herself. When in reality, she's just lazy and looking for a quick buck. And doesn't care how this affects anybody else. The funniest thing is her bio says how much she loves research. Yeah, she ain't researching shit, bro. If she loved research so much, she wouldn't hire researchers, right? That's why I get Phallic to do it for me, because I hate looking shit up. I never know what... The only reason I knew I wanted to talk about this was, one, because she's a friend of Savannah's, and we have history there, right? And it's crazy to me how similar these situations are between what Savannah tried doing to Scammer Payback and what she's trying to do to H3H3. They are so similar. And I was like, oh, I got to get in on this.
2 or 3 sources of, information so you can verify
with him,
original sourcing. Sorry, what?
My unedited conversation with him is still on our channel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I...
Oh, exactly. No, not exactly. Because if you would have went and listened to that interview, you would have gotten the facts. She doesn't know. She doesn't have the faintest friggin' clue, dude. She is here because she heard she was going to go on H3H3. That's it. That is the only reason she's here. She has no real good excuse behind any decision made that spreads a lie about Ethan. Not one. I haven't heard one single good point from her today. Yeah, that's another thing too. I don't know how she thought she was going to go on here and do well. Because she probably believes all the people in her ear saying Ethan's evil. Ethan's dumb. You can dunk on him. It's no problem. He's a layup. And now she's just, I don't know, maybe in her mind she thinks she's doing good. But she's not. this is embarrassing.
I fully agree with that.
Okay, so do you think? So, do you think I exploited John for content, or are you walking back on that? Not that I even care about that accusation, honestly. I find the whole thing a little bizarre.
Yeah, I mean, again,
just doesn't seem that serious.
Yeah, so I think when it comes to ethical content creation, you know, I think that there's been a few cases where, sorry, again, there's just like a weird hair thing. That's just my concern, you know.
See, and again, she's more worried. This is how I know how she views herself. She is the mouthpiece, the pretty face. She's more concerned about what her hair's doing and apologizing for that. Why is she apologizing for flipping her hair back? Why did she feel the need to stop to say that? Because this is what she feels like she brings to the table. Is I'm hot. And people watch me because I got great boobs. They don't really care what I'm saying. That's the researcher's job. They don't care what I'm saying. That's the writer's job. I'm here because I want to make content and tell people stories. It doesn't matter if they're true or not.
Same thing with my content when it comes to sourcing. You know, I'm absolutely going to pay attention to that as much as possible. You know, focus my content down.
Do you think you've exploited any of these people you've made videos about? You made one about
yes, dude, look at this, dude. Yes, this is what I've been waiting to see. I'm so excited for this. I watched it on Nicholas Durier's stream. He actually tapped out before the end when she refuses to say Hassan shocked his dog. Oh, I don't think I got to that part yet, but I know Nick was cooking her pretty bad too. CW has a nice chair. I just noticed that. Yeah, let's see. Because this is what I've been saying this whole time. So now Ethan's going to go in and be like, how do you know that whatever you've said about any of these other creators are true? Because, look, you know, you could see definitely the influence from Illuminati. These are all Illuminati thumbnails right here. They all look the same.
Sydney Sweeney, Ashley Barnes, Danielle Cohen.
Sydney Sweeney, yeah, dude. Didn't she get cooked for what she said about Sydney Sweeney too?
Anna
yeah,
Paul.
so a big.
Do you feel that any of these have been exploitative?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think a big point of my content that I try to do, but again, like I said,
what's up, Clifford?
She said she's the most evil influencer mom, and actually, she is terrible. I'm not defending her, but I am kind of just pointing out, like.
So yeah, a lot of times
worse
when
than what I did to John in terms of like editorializing and exploiting other people's, you know, trauma, like way worse.
So a lot of times when I make content, I really try to I really try to understand like their perspective, how they,
do you feel you did
what
that
their
to
background
me?
is.
Do you felt that you really tried to understand my perspective and background?
I thought I did at some points, but understand.
No, my God, dude. How is she? Dude, there's no way. There's no way she could think that's real. Hell yeah, Clifford.
And your criticism, again, I can see where there are flaws, which
we love our
I'm,
Aussie
wanting
people.
to have this conversation here. You know, again, I think that if there's anything that I'm not doing enough, that's why I'm listening and wanting to learn, you know, from it. But I also think that that doesn't mean that, you know, influencers are devoid of criticism either. You know, I think that there's a way to sort of find that middle ground. And because as I'm gaining more and more of a following, I'm also part of that camp. You know, I don't think I explained that in here, but that's also a reason why I moved away from MLM content. I kind of felt like sometimes I would.
Yeah, they've been circling it, E-Shift. Every once in a while, they'll pop a red circle up around the stain every time she mentions it.
Sort of, you know, make content about like a random, you know, in anti-MLM community, you call them like hun bots, but, you know, like a random person who, you know, just sort of got roped up in an MLM and is making, you know, a video to like their, 100 followers trying to promote, you know, a product and making content, you know, using, you know, essentially pointing out how bad that is, but kind of like, it felt like punching down. The bigger of a following you get, it feels like you're punching down on someone like that, you know.
So now she's saying the only reason she went after Ethan's because he's bigger. So she's not going to talk about smaller creators, but she's going to talk about bigger creators because she doesn't like punching down. It doesn't matter. If someone is smaller than me and they're doing some terrible shit, I'm going to call them out on it. I do not care. But then again, I'm also a shitter, so it doesn't really matter what I say. I'm either punching straight or I'm punching up most of the time.
Whereas influencers, we're gaining more influence across the board, you know, and with that comes more responsibility, you know, how you utilize your audience, how you.
No, she did not just say with great power comes great responsibility. Did she really just quote Spider-Man right there?
Utilize your platform, how you utilize ethics, you know, and again, I'm not devoid of that criticism either.
That's kind of the point of our conversation right now, actually.
Yeah. Exactly. And that's why I want to have this conversation. That's why I wanted to have it. And I think the same thing can be said for how you utilize people as guests on your podcast, you know?
Well, but, I mean, can't that be said about anyone with anyone on their podcast,
Exactly.
though? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That actually was leading into the Trisha 5% part. I'll show you this clip because it is interesting how 2 years ago or 3 years ago when it was popular to shit on Trisha at the time.
Yeah. Okay, clarify.
You had an opposite, you had almost a contradictory take to what you said about her now, when now it's popular to support Trisha.
Yeah.
I'll play it for you.
I'm asking. He started a third channel just so he could fight smaller channels. It's fucking hilarious.
Leave anytime.
Many people were really disappointed with the way that Trisha.
Yeah, I have to raise a great point of contention that you made me sound way too chipmunky. And if you ever include me again, I promise I won't claim you. Just don't make me sound like a chipmunk.
Deal.
Okay, great. We're on the same page.
She's like, I'm doing so great. Look, we're laughing. He thinks I'm so great.
There.
Haters handled the fallout and how they pretty much turned it all into a grovel over money.
I guess because they thought you might have been saying she's ugly or something. I don't know.
We end up paying for Ethan and Neela, which is crazy because he takes that 5%, and VIP tickets to Disneyland is not cheap.
The nerve of her to complain about 5% when I'm literally not making a fucking penny at this point. It's just so disrespectful. It disregards all the hard work we do, not only on the crew, but now on my wife and all the people that worked on the merch. And it's like, okay, well,
we would die if we took a shot every time she says, you know.
She started saying she wanted half of all the membership fee. That like she was just taking everything so far. I forgot she even asked for that. And then here's kind of
production. It's not like an itemized thing. We are doing the show.
Trish receives a 45% cut of the show, while Ethan Klein receives an extra 5% that goes towards production costs. Now, first off, if the show is incredibly successful, incredibly successful, and all you're doing is paying your employees a base salary, putting up a fabric backdrop, a basic table.
It's funny, you said fabric backdrop and then you showed us outside.
Is that? I think that was the.
Oh, this isn't your video.
A basic table and mics.
Oh,
you know that 5% can get pretty chunky if you're.
Oh my God, she does say in her videos. I never noticed that. That has to be a wig. No, that's a real hair. That's a real hair. You can see it. She's rocking it now. She really loves the feminist look. She hates men. She fucking hates men. YouTube is drunk. Yeah, they've been getting pretty drunk lately. Hey, after, do you think I can send through an intense team Haka against another team Haka here in Aussie after my boy? I don't know if I'll have time to do that tonight because we're gonna be getting off here pretty soon. I was just trying to get. I'm probably gonna finish the rest of this tomorrow. I'm just gonna get through this little Trisha part here, and then we're gonna probably end the stream tonight. But we'll be back probably Friday. We'll have to do it, or tomorrow afternoon. It depends because I got a lot. Thursdays are typically monster truck days, so I'm not sure if we'll be able to get to this till Friday again. But Friday we could probably finish the rest of this.
I mean, obviously you're being a little bit hyperbolic there. Obviously we did a lot more than that.
Her count was over 450 for the podcast. Did someone actually count it?
Yes. Yeah.
Podcast is getting tens of millions of views. Incredible success. That 5% can really numerically change quite a bit. Do your employees get a raise because of that 5% production cost? Are you investing a ton into production costs? Or are you taking whatever isn't allocated to employees to the set for yourself? While to the public, 5% can feel silly to argue about, like a very small number, and how they pretty much turned it all into a grovel over money, especially if Ethan's argument was that 5% was for production and.
Look, she's more worried about how she looks in these videos than what she's saying, and Ethan's like, I could care less what you look like. It's what you're saying that's bothering me. She's like, oh my God, I was 2 months postpartum right there. I can't believe it. I can't believe I'm showing it.
And the staff.
He takes that 5%.
Which makes Trisha appear like she didn't care about H3 employees. I could also see why Trisha may start to feel like she was getting undercut when it came to frenemies. And how they pretty much turned it all into a grovel over money.
Do you see how it looks a little duplicitous?
I think
cognitive dissonance literally can destroy a person's mental state.
Oh, that was, somebody added that.
Takes that 5%.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, it's a little duplicitous.
I mean, I'd love to explain. So normally when I cover a topic.
Oh, I can't wait. She's going to explain, guys, because she's been so good at that so far. She's explained all the problems. Do you guys feel like Ethan's gotten a single response from her that has cleared anything up yet? Have you seen a single moment in the 2 hours and 11 minutes that we've been watching this thing? Have anybody feel like at any point that she gave any type of response that would make you go, okay, I could see where she was coming from there? No. Not once. In fact, the very first point I had to make for her because she wasn't making it. Like that, this is, oh my God, dude. This is why I got to make it as a content creator. If she can do it, I should be able to too. Because there's no way that this girl has gotten to where she's, well, I know how she's gotten to where she's at. You know what I mean? I'm not sure she knows what duplicitous means. Yeah, I don't think so either. I think she's going to find it. We'll see what, it's probably what she's figuring out right now. She's like, what does duplicitous mean? What could it mean? Double? Duplicitous? I got 2 boobs, 2 eyes. Well, I got 4 eyes now because I'm wearing glasses. That stupid stain. There's 2 stains on that green chair. 1 chair minus the postpartum comment plus the and I figured it out.
I don't like to circle back again and again and again. I normally make, that's also why I, again, I think that's exploitative. You have, not to offend other channels, that make continual topics on people. Again, if you feel that's necessary, let me know if I need to turn on my light at any point too.
The lighting's good.
Over here. Okay. But yeah, so for me, my content, I'll do these deep dives, cover a topic, and then I like to kind of move on. Just because, again, that's my...
Trisha was only paid talent. She did not own any part of the business and was a business partner, paid talent. Yeah, personally, I don't think that Trisha should have made even what she made there, 45%. She should have made 30% because all she did was have to show up and sit on the damn microphone. I never understood how Trisha Paytas got so famous. It's one of those things that I just don't think I can ever wrap my head around because it's not like she's a smoke show. I don't personally understand it. I don't think that what she says is very entertaining. I know. Maybe I could get some, Daniel's crew. Let's go fund me for EG's boobs so that he can catch up to Cruel World Happy Mind. It's going to happen. Apparently, Shink's redundancy is duplicitous. Yeah, I guess so. I guess she doesn't quite understand what that word means. And that's why she's like, I'm not circling back and talking about it again. That's not exactly what I meant. It means that I don't know. Let's see if she figures it out.
My feeling on the matter, especially with the type of content I do where I'm, covering extensively a subject.
If you're going to cover the same exact situation, 2 opposite ways that fits into the narrative of your video.
See, now he's explaining it to her. Okay, I was like, he knew that she didn't know what duplicitous meant, so he was like, okay, now we're gonna have to explain it to her real quick because she knows. He could have really got one on her, and I don't think he was trying to be mean. If he was just like, do you not understand what the word duplicitous means? That would be an Aiden move right there.
It just doesn't feel genuine.
Again, maybe I shouldn't have. I should have clarified this, but as far as covering Trisha, again, that's why I didn't, go extensively hard on her. I added text to clarify, like, hey, I don't think she's perfect. I had some things where I was being a little bit snarky towards Trisha, but
Are you afraid
also,
her fans might be kind of upset if you've criticized her in modern day?
Again, no, I just felt like I had done a huge extensive video on my criticism of her. A lot of my criticism is the same.
Yeah.
I also think that,
I'll grow a pair. You'll see.
Is there,
I guess I'm not understanding the logic because it's not the same, right? It's you.
But if I can get to the 5%
yes,
aspect.
please, sorry,
so after covering that, I kind of sat with it for a while. I think I mentioned this in my live, but she had kind of done a video. And again, this is another situation of this happening where I have to reflect and think about, the ways that I cover content.
Oh yeah, she got some giant boobs, Daniel's crew. She's hiding them right now. But if you go watch some of her videos on Cruel World Happy Mind, she dresses quite scantily clad. She lets those babies breathe. Trisha has come a long way after she's become a mom. Well, I hope so. Didn't she do like a sex tape with Adam 22 after she became a mom though? Or was that before?
content with the idea of someone who's viewing the video, like the subject themselves viewing the video in mind. Because I think she had done a video, like a TikTok, where my, video was in the background, and I forget, it was kind of.
Yeah, there you go, Hodgkiv. Notice how she's all buttoned up on like her normal booby shirts. Yeah, I think that because she was trying to be taken seriously here, and if she came with her cleavage out, that I don't know if she would have been. I guess she felt like maybe she wouldn't have been taken as seriously, even though she has no problem doing it on her channel. And hey, listen, I'm not gonna sit here and hate. Like, I don't mind looking at it. Madison is nice to look at, not so great to listen to.
Kind of talking about, how hurt she was from some of the content made about her, and.
But listen, she also dresses like that during her videos, right? And then she'll turn around and be like, "I can't believe guys would try to get with me. Like, what is wrong with them? They're grooming me." It's like, really? Why would they want to sleep with you when you're walking around with your giant double D breasts?
So after that, I just kind of reflected on like what criticism went too far, and again, as I was making this video, I was reflecting on that a lot.
She did fail,
of that former video, again, I'm not part
Boobs
of
are
your
pretty
crew, I'm
great.
not part of the behind the scenes financials. I don't know what took place. I don't, there's various allegations. So I can only
What allegations?
Like I said, the 5%.
Well, that's not allegation.
I wonder if she's gonna point out that he's got his leg up again, because she pointed out earlier that he had his leg up, and it wasn't very, professional.
More than I took 5% more.
Or whether that's fair, whether that's not.
Wait, why are you laughing when you say 5%?
Because it's become a massive, meme at this point, and it's sort of blown out of proportion. And essentially, I was kind of.
Maybe I could show off my abs or something. I don't think that would get me much money. I think my arms and shoulders would probably make me a couple bucks, or my butt, but I don't think my abs are going to do much.
Reflecting on if that was sort of, fair for the internet to sort of make fun of the 5% meme, or if it was kind of people not taking someone seriously.
If 5% is worth a lot, imagine how much 45% is worth. Right?
Yeah.
Like
No,
it's all in relation to.
Yeah. And again, like I said, my former criticism still holds. It's sad that a working relationship devolved in that way. But I also think that I think that. To me, my interpretation as a complete outsider is that, she did see it as a business relationship, and that she wanted someone, a producer of some sort, to be there to advocate for her, to make specific choices.
Oh, yeah.
So she didn't feel like
I
she was
have
being
talked about
sidelined.
this on the podcast.
Your butt. Yes, your butt.
When she mentioned she wanted a producer, I immediately told her to find someone, and I would pay their salary.
Yeah, I mean, and again,
Yeah, I'm just waiting for her to Stepford Wives robot. Like, you remember the robots in Austin Powers? I'm just waiting for her to have a malfunction.
I'm pretty sure that's even in the leaked conversations too. That she leaked.
So I wonder,
I think
what
most
is your
people are
actual
lover of
criticism?
boobs.
Are you saying that you think it's a bad deal for a talent to show up to a show? All they need.
I don't know if her boobs are real though, because she has such a slender frame and her boobs are so massive. I wonder if they're real.
To do is just show up and get 45% of that show's earnings.
Yeah, and Trisha wanted
That's a bad
Ethan
deal, in your
the
opinion?
Fire's crew.
I guess my thing is, I think that she wanted a full business relationship. She didn't want to be the
That's
talent.
no.
And
Yeah, now she's telling them what happened, even though they were there. Okay, this is going well.
Again, from the
Was
statements
that a criticism of me? I mean, that's what kind
yeah.
of how the business was started. By the way, she was treated as a full partner. I mean,
Yeah,
whatever
yeah.
she wanted, she got,
Exactly.
right?
And so,
But it's
I
not
think
like
that,
she had plans to become an owner of the company, or like there wasn't. I don't know what you mean by that. That was not part of the discussion.
She called me
Again, I
Julie in the
guess-
DMs, by
can
the way.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. My how would I say?
She says she got her boobs in the divorce. Okay, so her boobs are not real. Okay. I was going to say, because those are way too big for her slender frame.
I guess my question.
My sister is slender frame and has huge boobs. Hey, no problem there. But hers just look like Baywatch boobs. If you guys haven't seen, you got to go over to her channel and you'll find one video and you'll see they're massive. Or go onto her Instagram. They're massive. I mean, that's why half of her audience is men, right? She's got a lot of female fans, but she's also got a lot of male fans, and a lot of the male fans just simp over her.
Question is, when these sort of collaborative projects are started, like Frenemies, are they treated like a business relationship,
Yes,
like
it
a
is.
collaborative business relationship? So I think that's sort of how it was viewed. You know, again, I'm not Trisha. I can't.
Yeah,
you know,
that's-
but
that is
that's
why-
sort of, you
Criticism
know,
of me.
But that is why the earning is 45%. It's not like a flat fee of like, I don't know, $2,000. It's a lot more than
What's
that.
the criticism of me?
Yeah.
I don't think so, Daniel's crew. I think that they are. I think that those puppies are bought and paid for. Phallic confirmed it.
Yeah, so again, reflecting on my former content that I made about frenemies, that was something that I felt like, okay, I could see Trisha's side of wanting a producer that could advocate for her.
She
I could
asked
see
for
her
it, and
side
I offered
of,
to pay.
Yeah.
This comment
And I'm
wasn't
glad to
even in
hear
the
that.
video, was it? You don't think you even talked about that in the
The
video?
producer? Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
you did. You mention that she wanted a producer?
Yeah.
Yeah, but so that would be a good reason to have take 5% extra. If I was like, I'll hire them and I'll pay them.
You know,
I'm paying
And,
myself.
and yeah,
for
and then the only
She
other thing
never
was, you know,
invested any of her money.
Oh yeah, I paid for the whole set and everything. It was like $50,000 that I never even asked for a penny from her for that.
and the only other thing was, you know, I think a lot of people were laughing at 5% because it seemed like such a small amount in the
Yeah.
grand scheme of things. As you
Sure.
said, 45% is a good cut. The reason, what I was trying to say is,
She's talking out of her ass. She has no idea what the fuck she's talking about.
like, okay, you know, if you're getting millions and millions of views, you know, that 5% can end up being more than like what most of us would see, you know. So I could understand how.
No, not you, Madison. You make way more than most creators. Stop trying to sell it like you're some kind of small creator. You're not. You have over 500,000 subscribers. Your videos pull in hundreds of thousands of views a month. You are doing just fine, girl. Stop trying to paint it like you're me. All right, you ain't me.
How
Yeah, but then the
and also-
45% is worth that much more too.
Yeah, of course. And you know, again, but I'm just trying to, again, just look at that because
I'm just trying to, you know, make you guys look like pieces of shit. That's it. I don't know why you guys are getting so upset. I'm just out here trying to make you guys look like the worst people ever. And that's it. I mean, that's all it comes down to. I just want you guys to look like pieces of shit. Is that too much to ask for? Why are you guys getting so upset about this? That's what you should just say and end it.
Since you covered it.
So you're changing your opinion?
Yeah, it sounds like you changed your opinion. So when you made the Trisha video 2 or 3 years ago, you were very critical of her, making it about the 5%, making it about money. Sounds like since then you've changed your opinion and now
Yep, augmentation happened. Okay, thank you, Kevin, for confirming. You can always trust a man to be like, yes, sir, I see the difference, baby.
now she was justified in making it about the 5%.
Well, again, I didn't look at that in my original video of just how much, like, again, 5% of, you know, again, I don't know the specific numbers. I'm literally just spouting random numbers, but 5% of 100 million versus 5% of 100,000 can be different. Also, you know, asking about
It's
whether
not 100
employees-
million.
No, I know exactly. Yeah, I'm just saying random numbers. You know,
You're saying a lot of random stuff, not just numbers. You're saying a lot of random words, I'd have to say.
you know, a few points I'm just going to say really quickly. I am really glad that the employees got a raise. That was just also my other question.
But why would
know.
you assume why would you assume that I'm fucking them over? Like why would that be the
I
that
wasn't,
automatic assumption?
Because I read H3 Snark, and that's what they say. And what they say is what I believe.
Because I feel like I don't have to come out here. You know, it's funny. If I came out here and was like, everybody's getting a raise and everybody's getting this and that, people would just could accuse me of being performative. And it's nobody's business. I don't need to fucking air out their financial situation to anybody. So, like, why should I even have to come out here and talk about
Well, 'cause the 5%
financial?
was so-
Why don't you just trust them to be here of their own accord in a happy financial situation? Like,
Because the way that she views content is like she needs to be famous. Like that's how her and Savannah view things. Like I have to be famous. Savannah tried making it as a rock star. It didn't work out for her. So then she tried every single type of genre she could think of to try to get popular on YouTube because it's all about fame to these people. They do not care about the truth. They just want entertaining videos that are going to bring in views. They do not care about how it's presented to the world. And that's that. And that's why Madison cannot fathom that these people would get raises. She just thinks they're there because it's an opportunity to be on H3 and get noticed.
why do
Well,
I
the
need to come
5%
out
was
here and
so-
virtue signal for everybody how great of a boss I am?
I mean, again, you know, even in this you know discussion, the 5% feels silly to argue about, but it was so highly debated over that. That's why I mentioned it. You know, but what was I going to say?
I don't think
sorry.
you answered. I don't think you answered my question. So, do you feel like it's a bad deal for a talent to get 45% of a show that they just show up to? They don't.
Yeah, so that brings up what I was going to say. I think that almost anyone would take that initially, and then I think when there becomes these big blowouts where you know you're sort of seen as the crazy one in a podcast, and then you get this huge wave of internet backlash. But these massive viral podcasts, and they're all on the H3 podcast channel. You're not essentially what I was trying to say is across the board, it wasn't just the frenemies episodes, but other videos as well that were seeing a huge boost in viewership. You were probably seeing a huge boost in subscribers.
What do you think was happening to her
large
views?
audience.
Yeah, I know.
Are you aware that before frenemies, she had a podcast that couldn't even break 10,000 views? It was canceled by the podcasting network because it was just it was costing them money. They weren't making any money. Her career was fucking.
It was mutual.
It was.
He saved her. He saved her without a doubt. There's nothing wrong with buying boobs. Mine actually look natural and no scars, so there is nothing wrong with it. I see nothing wrong with paying for your boobs. There ain't nothing wrong with paying for boobs. I mean, I like hers. I ain't gonna complain about them. It's true people like her and vandalize other people with the excuse of advocating for them, and in turn insult the very people they're claiming to advocate for. H3 employees are competent to fight for themselves. Yep, dude, that is like the number one thing that group of people are guilty of. They're the type of people who will be like, oh no, you cannot blame black people for what they do because they just don't know any better. And it's like, are you kidding me? Like, are you? One of us is sounding racist here. It ain't me, because I think they can handle themselves. And that's how the entire far left views it. It's like, oh, well, we need to protect these people because they can't protect themselves. It's like, are you sure? Because have you ever sat down and talked with them? They're very intelligent. Like a lot of these minorities that you claim are getting a bad deal, like they're very, very intelligent people who are very able to, get themselves out of bad situations. I don't know why y'all are treating them. It's like when you get I remember there was this one coach, a football coach, that was like the first black man to achieve something in the NFL or college football. And the first question that one of the reporters asked was like, how does it feel to be a black man doing what you're doing? And he was like, can anybody else got any other questions that don't have to do with me being black? Because it's like I feel very insulted just by the fact you asked that question. And they were like, no, but like you know what I mean? Like you're a black man and you're doing something like really special, and like what does that mean for you? And he's like, I am not like drop it. Like I'm not like we want to talk football. We could talk football, but I am not like talking about my race here, because as far as I'm concerned, I am no different than you. And then the girl just would not drop it. She just kept pressing the fact that this is like, so great because he's black. And it's like you're insulting this guy. Every time you bring this up, you're watering down his achievements by saying like you're treating him like a child. Like, way to go, Johnny. You wrote the word correctly on the board. It's like, I'm in 6th grade, ma'am. I'm pretty good at spelling. You're treating him like a first grader. Boobs are boobs and butts are butts. They come in all sorts of shapes and sizes. That's right. Boobs are boobs and butts are butts. Men's got penises and nuts. I don't know. That's all I think of to rhyme that. Too many dudes don't have butts. I think most people have butt. I think everybody's got a butt, right? It's just how do they have a nice butt? I can actually say that I got a pretty nice tuchus.
It was definitely mutual.
Should I own a piece of her fucking her media empire for putting a show on with her?
Yes. Again, I think it was just on your channel, so I think over time.
But we made it.
There can get that sense that again, you're getting this huge wave of internet backlash. Another person's channel is skyrocketing. Feelings are you're gonna feel a certain way about that.
She made millions of dollars.
Yeah, dude, this is so tone deaf. This is so freaking tone deaf. They speak for them, but dumbing them down and implying they're incapable of anything. Yes, I agree, Ree. Absolutely.
That is not accurate to how things went.
Yes.
I mean, she got a huge spike out of it just as much as our channel did, and it was mutual.
Why did she get backlash?
And plus, if anything, for a talent to not even have to post anything, it kind of makes the deal even more generous. She didn't even have to post it anywhere. We posted it on our channel. She literally just showed up.
All the risk.
Like, show me another place that has a deal like that. I don't think you would find it.
Also, I have to correct you. You're talking about Trisha like she's the victim, but the reason she was getting backlash is because she was wanting to fire my entire crew and replace it with her own.
You know, the same crew that you're so grateful for that they got raises. She wanted them fired, but no, Ethan's the bad guy.
Which is a company that she has no.
So I mean, she's accountable for her own.
Invested in this company. She was not here the years
Total
before.
badass. Chick Dugs approves this message.
At the Daniels Crew super chatted $5. Sorry, EG, I get really defensive on this subject.
Hey,
My bad.
You don't need to be apologizing for nothing. We all big fans of boobies around here. The bigger, the better. You know what I'm saying? Although, maybe Dolly Parton's just a little too big, because that leg is big of her head. But thank you, Daniel's Crew. You don't ever have to apologize for having opinions in here. We encourage everybody to share all their opinions, even if you disagree with what I'm saying.
For or after frenemies, that was just so inappropriate for her to ask to fire the whole crew.
Yeah, and again, you know, I saw a video where she.
Well, this is a barn burner, Daddy Scambait. We're gonna be ending pretty soon, probably in 6 minutes. 11:30 is about as late as I can go. I gotta get up for EG doesn't do this full time, so he gotta get up for his day job in about 5 hours. So I've been really into this video though, dude. It's so crazy, dude. Just how tone deaf she is. But you know, we're gonna finish this though. I'd love to try to finish it tomorrow, but I have such a busy day on Thursdays that I don't know if we will or not. So we might do it Friday, but you could see the first half of this will probably be coming out and reposted on EG Lately Live probably in the next couple days.
Suggested that she didn't want to fire the whole crew, so I'm watching these videos.
It's all on
I'm
record,
listening to you.
I think it's all on record.
Yeah, and I'd love to see that. You know, as and for this, I did see multiple sources. Like I saw your video, I saw her video, I saw different. You know, I you know, so
seems like not enough, because even in this screenshot, you can see that Ethan says he wants to hook up the crew for extra work.
And then
that is in release text that she released at the time, so you would have had access to this information. For example.
Yeah, but also I says I was wanting to hook up the crew for the extra work, but then your immediate reaction was he's not paying his crew extra, is he? Sorry to put a voice like that. I didn't mean to make you sound like that. That wasn't fair.
That was not my reaction. I was just wondering, you know, how everything was out. Again, the intricacies of this business relationship. It was an internet phenomenon. It's kind of, you know, fascinating years later to return to and you know.
It is very much an internet phenomenon.
I appreciate I appreciate the clarification on those aspects. As far as, again, I think another aspect is the fact that it's on your channel. You guys do have more control over the situation. So I think that wanting a producer, you know, who would be able to advocate, you know, maybe.
That's true, Blue Jay. Some more stuff may come out in the meantime because this story just keeps developing. I'm trying to learn editing for y'all.
Only came up towards the end when things pretty much kind of blew up and the show never happened again. That was not like something that was building up. She wasn't regularly asking for a producer and not being met with the request. Like that is not something that was part of the.
We got two people.
Are you a Trisha fan?
Actually, I don't watch her show. I kind of got the impression that she did not like me from, you know, showing the video in the back. And I feel bad about that, you know, and I've reflected on my own content in that way. Again, that's why I think about these things and try to revisit it from that lens. But I also think that, you know, again, I don't like that she shows her children in her content at all. Again,
you don't like that we show
stance.
our children in our content too. That was another thing you raised.
And someone, you know,
we were hypocritical
went into my aunt's you know, Instagram page and showed a photo.
Dude, she's just straight up ignoring half of the things that he's saying now. All right. Well, I appreciate the raid, Carla. The one lady, the one woman raid. But I think we're probably gonna wrap it up here. Okay, we are at 2:25. 2 hours and 25 minutes into this crazy thing. We're gonna finish this sucker. All right, I promise. We're gonna finish this thing. And then we're also going to, we also got to take a look at her apology too, which is probably crazy. But this story has just been so crazy that I've had a good time with it. So sleep well, everybody. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.